It's felt like NaVi have lost any semblance of control in this one.
Yeah, no panic, no pressure, nothing. And no hero, no star on the other side to step up. I do want one more kill from Simple to give him a 5 KD. I think that would be apt. He's made it this far. Boost up. They put the power player in position. Electron keeping it spammed, so it's a nice opener. Ooh, but into the nade. Don't peek with the nade. That's dangerous. Flatcher will think better of it. NaVi again, yet in no hurry. RERUN has util ready at the B site. Molly can come down. Simple probably won't respect it. Oh, it comes in early though, before he gets spotted. Molly will clear out Scenari, meaning Flatcher is now on his own, fighting for his life. GXX gets picked off of that close mid position, and Flatcher only goes 1-for-1. It's all starting to come crumbling down. The re-aggro from Scenari is nice, but Simple has taken the space.
Yeah, Young has the bomb here, but if anything, that makes it way less likely that he would ever commit to going cave. With no one else nearby, you can't afford losing the bomb there. Simple, still waiting at the top of ramp. Once again, this decision to wait for the reaction from your opponents, and it will serve them well. Simple, there's that 5-0 KD, or 5-1 KD you were hoping for. Scenari's going to ruin it, and we're into this 2-2. Guns grabbed, weapons retrieved, and Bad News Eagles already moving over towards this A side of the maps. And Opsies beat the timing, could try and stop this plant here and now, but the tunnel vision leads into his death. 1v1 as Scenari gives it his best shot, but he can't get it over the line. NaVi, domination in the opener, not even close, as they open up 16-3 on the Bad News Eagles map pick.
Right now, There's nothing that is stopping them from just closing the series with a 2-0.
Yeah, the stage would be set for exactly that. NaVi, a dominant opener, taking away, you know, like the quintessential Bad News Eagles map of Ancient in ludicrously dominant fashion. And as they sit there flipping through their notebooks, they know that they're going to need to dig deep if they want to pull this one back on Nuke.
Yeah, no amount of prep is going to save the Eagles at this point as well. They've got to be coming in with flames lit beneath them. They've got to be firing on all cylinders because right now NaVi certainly are simple looking unbeatable in that opening map. BNE now on a map that they have been uncomfortable on themselves, but no time for second chances. This is your second chance, an elimination game, and Flatro finds the first.
Oh, all right, that's more like it. They're going to hit the ground running here. Oh, GXX having a wrestle with the dual Berettas. Sure, he's dead, but you'd like to think in the 4v1, Bad News Eagles should have this one under control. They're all pushed into the lobby. Some die young. Oh my God, don't give him this. The wrap from Regon was in.
Would have liked a knife there.
And my God, that was almost, you could almost feel that starting to happen for some die young.
All right, they're getting energetic as well. They're shouting, they're screaming, they're trying to build themselves back into the series.
Yeah, you know, so we'll set other up. They do hang out all the time. So I think, you know, when you have these moments backstage, this isn't a squad that's going to sit there, go all silent, get in their heads. No, they've come to this major believing they've got what it takes.
Yeah, you definitely wonder how much of that was a factor for FaZe yesterday, right? Like how much after you know, you make such a ballsy call. Wait a second.
Hang on.
What's this? Little, they haven't got Deagle. What's the goal here? P250? No, they're just chilling. You know, when you make such a crazy call to play play Vertigo over Ancient, your insta-ban, you know, and you lose it, what does that do to you mentally? How do you recover from that? Especially the way they lost it in overtime, on the back foot the entire series, or the entire map rather, still brought it back, still lost it. Sure, they may have shown up on Nuke, map that we're on right now, but it's yeah, it's a question mark. Something that BNE will not have a problem with, you'd like to think, the mentality aspect. For now, NaVi are on a full eco. Perfecto has that Zeus, and I do want to see what he's going to do with it, but I doubt anything of interest.
Maybe he can survive the run to vent.
Yes,
let's see. Door swings open, nade goes in. Juicy one at that. Kill on a bit. We'll get one from the Glocks.
Yeah.
And now Perfecto
yes.
wins. Ooh, you're going to get knifed. No, he finds one.
What are you doing?
Don't throw. Oh my God. Oh my God, BNE.
Laugh it off.
I gotta say, you know, I'm saying how good friends these guys are. I'm saying, you know, they do have a laugh, they do get on, and I think this is kind of their way. This is a very believable way that they would try to write off that last game.
To build themselves back in, to hype themselves up.
You want to come in and, like, you know, set a bit of, try get in their heads early.
I said they wouldn't tilt. If you lost that, you would definitely
They didn't lose it, though, so we don't have to worry about it.
Just a little more money. Terrifying round.
I thought everyone else thought the same thing, by the way. We were all seeing it.
Terrifying, but a round nonetheless. Bloody hell. NaVi set the smokes outside instantly, and they run right behind. It's actually Regon to find a kill on the A site. Electronic will get that shot over the top of the blue box, and they're going to try and cross a nade. Dodge, but players make it down secret for now. Oh, off the reload.
Main, yeah, simple. Here's that reload, and like a moth to a flame, he takes away main up the vents, and Nopsy goes into the crosshair as well. And fares just about as well as the last guy. Simple with the double opener, Scenari heading down lower. Just on a coin toss, really. And with this info gain, Simple, you know, taking main away. NaVi, if they kind of take their time on this one, they'll be able to figure out very, very quickly where this last man is. Bit's going to get that info, maybe more than the info, even flicking back to find that kill.
I love that routing. We see a lot of players do that. You know, if you sneak out double doors and you're scared of Xantara's position, those rafters above single, you know, walk all the way to dark. It puts, you know, gives you a nice bit of cover from the ramp side, and it gives you a perfect angle to pick that rafters player. But even so, it was, you know, NaVi coming in with their first gun round, looking good. I like that play through the smoke as well. Very ballsy call. BNE can't get comfortable on the CT side early. And even losing those extra guns after, messing around in the second round. They have consequences, Harry. Simple, the giver of consequences. Quick tap outside. And they actually reset. Leaving Bit here means they might try and main wrap later in the round to go for another A play. That smoke's going to take the info away from BNE. GXX tries to hold on to it. Oh, where's that smoke going for Bit? That's a long one to Lockers. GXX still playing up ahead of it. They're actually going to cross Secret. Player already lower. He hasn't seen them make it down. They see him, and they find the kill as well.
Oh, Regon now spotted, and suddenly this little corner might just become where you die. They run him down as he was boxed in. Nowhere to go. Nowhere safe, at least. That's a bad news. Eagles take a bit of a gamble, bringing both players down lower. This is another one of these rounds where as long as NaVi are pretty smart about it, which they often are, they should be hard-pressed to lose. And yeah, they get the info that A is clear. They move in now to an uncontested side of the map. And bad news, Eagles, hell. You know, just going to look to hold on to these, you'd imagine. Synopsy goes fighting. Scenari's Famous save ain't even guaranteed. Simple just wants to take it all away. And even though he falls, now that you've got this info, you know where Scenari is. Everyone's going to go looking for him. Up into the heavens, but outside is compromised, and Bit is there to lock that in.
Yeah, NaVi are so quick with it, man. Gonna get hard. Gonna be hard to get past shooters this fast. NaVi equalizer score early in this matchup, and yeah, you know, I like how the desk framed it. Absolutely no way in for BNE is how you have to look at this game at this point. It would make it all the more unbelievable if they managed, but losing to FaZe on this one map yesterday, the one map they lost in that series, and NaVi just being an absolute beacon of consistency on Nuke. Their CT sides can be unbelievable. Simple, one of the most interesting players to watch in the world on CT Nuke. Arguably, if not definitively, his best map. Or at least his best half. I like this little stack up on the A site. The boost gives you angles that will not be cleared coming out door and main. But if someone comes out the hut, you are in hot water. Not that NaVi are anywhere near. They've dropped lower, again, completely avoiding the setup of BNE as they have in all 3 of their rounds so far.
Yeah, just another situation where it's like, hey, Electronic, how have you managed this, man? It's like the perfect decisions you had to make to get to a point where you've just done everything in your power to counteract the BNE strat. We saw it constantly back on Ancient. We're already getting a taste of that early on here to open up Nuke. BNE will just keep this stack up on the A site, hoping that if NaVi do come looking, if anyone does want to go eco hunting, trying to pad these stats, and maybe you can knock something out of the round. And Simple seen a man in heaven. That's already got him tantalized by the prospect of making a bit of money on this Mac 10. It is, I would say, more than worth it for Simple to go looking.
Ooh, there's a kill. Grab it, and go for the gun. Why not? But that bomb will explode. They have to wait for it before they can drop off. Maybe someone runs now. Recon dies, unfortunately. But there is a...
Oh, on the ladder.
Why would you not go for it?
No, he did. He just got stuck on the ladder, yeah.
He went back up.
He tried to drop, and then it's like the classic. You just fumble, push S. And
Unfortunate. It would have been a free AK, and he had the timing to get it. But it's not the end of the world. Gun round coming out now for BNE. It's like a puppet.
Recon just a little weaker than everyone else, apparently.
All right, NaVi. They know they can set the precedent that they did on Ancient of a dominant first half if they win this round as well. Perfecto got stuck. He went event and he missed it. He walked through the smoke. It can be so hard. Often players getting lost. Simple won't. Sneaks his way down. They have to know about this potential for a B player already just due to the smoke. Electronic holds his until it fades. Simple. How will he try and crack open a site with no opponents? This ramp player tucked in tight. Scenari committed, but it's a great multi-kill position, especially with support. Simple. Will he call for glass to be broken on the upper site? Doesn't seem like it. Just going to wait for his time to strike. There's a glass break. BNE should have heard it, but Flashes actually went out at the same time. It's actually not broken, sorry. He waits for the rotate instead, and it feeds him. Easy kill. Flashes will fall. Scenari, they don't know about him. He's got kills on his plate, takes the first, and they trade well. Simple. Shutting down this outside rotate, unavailable. Juan Flatro still controls the B secret.
Yeah, now set up over here towards window. Bit tries to hunt him down, but can't knock him out of the round. Juan Flatro on this secret rotate, working wonders, but some Young's threaded the needle.
That's nice.
And found this gap over towards ramp, the tiniest of timings.
It's a fake out.
Going back now, hoping that this will keep Bad News Eagles divided. They're not faltering, still both down at lower. Juan Flatro now knocked out of it, and RERUN, he was just moving away, all the way up towards Secret. Now I think if you're Sam Young, you're assuming he's rotated A. Tap on it. Hoping this bait's a peek, door swings open, and now Sam Young, a real chance in the clutch. It's a damn good try. But the Bad News Eagles hold the line.
Yeah, very nice attempt. But what a big round to win for BNE, considering how that round starts as well. Yeah, sure, they get that opener onto Perfecto, but Simple had so much space in secret, and BNE never knew about it. They just run right into it. Flatro saves it with not just that kill, but the closing clutch as well. 1v1 won by BNE. And there'd be no time like now to compete on a map that they have not proven themselves against the best teams in the world. Not even the up-and-comers. As Trace said, coming into that death segment, FaZe died for this. You'd at least want more competition out of BNE to make that feel like it was worth it. But NaVi, they don't care. They've got the trophy in mind and in sight.
Oh,
Another?
low HP player here, right? Simple tagged up.
Oh,
Forced forward by the molly. Yeah, that's a freebie for GXX. Bit an electronic over in secret, but they're trying to get back into the lobby. They're trying to help Perfecto out here because he's gotten the bomb. And he's in a bit of a bad way. He's getting pushed. RERUN finds him, and as you try to plug this hole, as you try to make matters better, Juan Flatro was meant to cause you more problems. Electronic somehow aware. We'll check for that, and now the round opens up all over again. They've made a decision to separate here. I think a lot of teams would have elected to just stay grouped, play this trade game into the lobby, but it feels like they want to get this bomb, and they're counting on Bad News Eagles just not having discovered it. Pretty big bluff for Electronic to have called.
no time to go heaven.
Gonna have to commit to the A plate bit. 15 seconds, and he tries to get out through the door. He's shut out of the round by RERUN, swinging out. Electronic with the double, and the third man actually peeks that from heaven. That's kind of crazy, considering GXX has like 2 HP as he takes that 1v1.
I think he knows if Electronic gets that bomb, he could, you know, it was very close. Maybe the time wasn't there, but that's why Electronic pulls a knife.
Yeah, I really don't think the time was there. That is a super scary fight, but
you have
honestly,
to go for it. Yeah, you don't expect to get swung. I mean, that's why it's so crazy. That's why he's knife out. You know, he's not ready for a repeak. Nice try again. NaVi making these close rounds almost worth it, but BNE holding strong on a CT side. Yesterday they got 5 rounds against FaZe's 10 offensive half on their map pick. And that was the most dominant map in the series, the only one not to go to overtime, 16-10 to FaZe Clan. Will NaVi be tested more than that today? They certainly weren't on their opener. It gave us a lot of hope for this squad. But there's a lot more to do. Day's not done. Krieg out for Simple, throwing it back. No money for the orb. Not with all the trimmings. Spirit's still good, at least. We saw that in just the second round. And hey, even if BNE were to go home here, they can go home happy. Heads held high. They ruined, you know, #1 in the world. They had a solid challenger stage. They made back-to-back major appearances. But they want more than that.
attack pause over. GXX with his orb is posted outside, has a bit of support here as well. Oh, but Simple's Krieg meets him from the silo.
Okay.
Like trying to get a catch one Flatro, and this double outside setup that was meant to, maybe be the difference maker, dead in the water. RERUN has helped out by reclaiming that kill, and they're going to boost up into heaven here just to keep that flow of information available. I like this, right? Because otherwise you have a huge gap outside that you cannot plug from main. There was really no way to keep the info flow there. So now you've got RERUN up in the heavens. He's going to be able to scout out outside and maybe even get involved to find a 3v3.
Yeah, he almost re-swung that, but he definitely realized better of it. He wants to play this later in the round. And he is now spotted by outside. The ladder timing not good, bit right below. NaVi 4-on-2, no excuses. This is their round. Into ramp they go, flanking down to the lower sites and area. It's being split from both sides, and he's almost grabbing a kill there. Could he escape? Oh, nice hop.
Nice hop.
1 health. Without it, he's dead, and he probably still is. It feels inevitable, and they will deliver that. Synopsy out of the round. Could think about saving that orb. It's still in Garage. Honestly, his best play, but maybe he feels like he has good timing here. It's not too bad, but NaVi have the numbers to consider every option of rotation. And you might also think that orb's been grabbed, considering NaVi ran all the way through Garage, but Simple shuts him out with the AK and ends that round. I love that for NaVi, because after Simple gets that pick on the back Garage player, you see how the timings get completely thrown off by BNE.
Yeah.
They don't see outside smokes. They think they have some room, but NaVi just dry walk 3 players past red. It gives them a 5-on-3 immediately. Double opener, and before BNE even realize what's going wrong, they are already out of the round.
Oh, forced back in for Bad News Eagles. Really laying it all on the field here.
Couple of players, not even 2K.
We're sat around like the double eco territory.
Oh.
All right, the Krieg opened up last round. This time, Electronic and Perfecto going to be the ones to do it, just running amok inside of the A site. And honestly, if you're Bad News Eagles, a few of these moments, you sometimes see them go for it, sometimes see them attempt it. Part of me just would love to see a Saber just try this again in the next. I don't think you're breaking back into this one, and that looks to be the decision made here.
I do like to see the Krieg come out from Simple. I mean, it felt like he just wanted to beat that orb battle, and he knew this was the best gun to do it. Molly goes in, GXX repositions, and they'll hear that tick. I just wonder if Simple will grab the orb when the opportunity presents itself. He could have picked it up last time, but it wasn't a mid-round, so maybe he'll buy it later. We'll see next round then, as he gets digged out. Oh, beautiful shots.
That's lovely.
But matters not. 5 rounds, and they don't even get the guns. Maybe last second attempt, and the Galil gets scavenged, but it's really not what you wanted. Considering it's still low money, they'll play it. One of the whole points of this major that we've been talking about was how open it was, right? Not just with so many competitive teams right now, but now even more so with the previous majors champions knocked out. Oh my god, it's fast.
Yeah, just another one of these fast A plays. This time, though, the USPs are getting away with murder. Oh, man, Simple's going to do it all alone, but he is making it happen. He's making it happen. Down to the 1v2. He's running out of ammo and just barely falls short. It's a low econ round for the Bad News Eagles to take that one over the line. A damn good try from Simple. I don't think you could have asked for much more there.
Can't be disappointed with that attempt. That was an absolute shredding on the A site. Every kill coming through in an instant. USPs for 2 of them as well. That's unbelievable that they even win that round. A very nice try from Simple, but still, BNE managing to make this game interesting. They've already matched their CT side versus FaZe.
Oh. On Flatro, they're already up past him. He's going to have to flick back for this, and that just sails right on by. Bit secures the bag. Now wrapping made. Bad News Eagles kind of caught by the timing on this one. NaVi very, very good at these quick pace changes, right? Just to completely blindside the opposition. Synopsy in at the back of the site is spammed out, and this round's already over. Simple's even hunting down Sceneri. Electronic going to beat him to it, but it's a lead gained all over again for NaVi.
I want to talk about Electronic because think about the arc of this player, right? You know, we're definitely at a time where more firepower heavy players have turned into in-game leaders, right? Even Apex, obviously, maybe past his prime when he did so, had the pieces to make a great team. Mezzi as well, who hadn't played at Tier 1 for that long before he swapped to the role. Electronic, this wasn't what he was been waiting for his whole career. This was out of necessity. They needed this with the departure of Boomich, and boy, have NaVi's T sides looked incredible, winning their debut event with him as a captain and going on to do great things. I think it's been so impressive to see this arc of Electronic, who certainly wasn't having bad individual performances, was side by side in Simple in many of these series.
Yeah.
When he swapped to in-game leading, it also feels like his fragging hasn't really dropped off as a result.
Now, oh, the opportunity was there, but it's sailed by Synopsy.
Ugly Deagles.
And yeah, I think you're dead on, Hugo. It's a case, he wasn't like an Apex where he kind of needed that like rebrand almost, right? That like extra layer. No, he was very much one of the stars of this team. Sceneri's Deagle. Hoping to be a star in this round.
Oh my goodness.
Double down and double dipped. NaVi. They got the plant inside of A. There's a lot of guns outside, and Sceneri might want to get his hands on them. Seems a little tenuous still, right? With Bit sat back over towards Secret. But there is this rifle in CT.
Yeah, it's his best option. Just go save spawn. He knows he can't win it, and the gun's right there. The bomb should blow it into CT, but he will. Oh, he's going for garage. He doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know about that one.
He's getting the AK. He's not going to make it out alive. Bit's going to hear every single step, and this is done. NaVi, 7 rounds. Nice shots out of BNE. They've made some rounds interesting here, but NaVi are still putting on quite a performance on a T half of Nuke, and it's not even their best half yet. Blisteringly paced rounds, especially on these A site attacks. We'll probably see something more standard for NaVi now that BNE, after their double eco. Oh god, it's a 3rd low econ round. Is that force into double eco? They just can't get a grip on the funds. It's sending NaVi skyrocketing.
And dude, I mean, I've loved some of this, right, from NaVi when they get this pick outside. It's been one of their go-tos, is just to, find that outside kill. And then if they get it early, they really rapidly accelerate and pick up the pace in through main. It's been something they've done maybe 3 or 4 times thus far in this game. And it's just so frustrating. It really is. It throws all the timings off. It throws everything in a disarray. Suddenly this A defense is like scrambling to angles they didn't even know they had to consider until the moment the peak comes in.
Yeah. I mean, they've really dug their own grave with that double force. It was off the back of making it a 1v1 against Simple, right? So they knew they had NaVi's money on the rocks, but now this cash has built up even bigger. BNE are late to buying in the CT side. They may only have 5 by the end of the half. NaVi, something more standard. Smoke's coming through now. I like the change-up.
Yeah, going to look to try and cross with these. All the smoke's down. As mentioned, said it earlier on, right, NaVi, great at these little pace changes. This is an example of it. And it's, I imagine, on the back of, knowing that Bad News Eagles are going to have rifles all over again and will be looking for solutions to these problems. They stop giving you these fast rounds, these kind of drier fights outside. Yeah. This time it's all about obscuring information, denying that info on the cross and putting the fear in Bad News Eagles, just kind of reminding them that this is a possibility.
But they've got a response at least. They've taken lobby, they've pushed all the way through. Perfecto's alone, and once they've cleared radio, that should be the next port of call. That should be the next location to check. If they don't, that's a big mistake that could come back to bite them in the arse. Flatro has his back turned right now. Sceneri's drop ramp because of this info, and they don't clear it. They just walk in, wander into Perfecto, wondering what's going on. Sceneri might have the answers. 2 kills down on the lower site. He drops in. Subdai Young eviscerates him, and a 2-on-2 ensues.
Oh, Recon up over the top, dropping in, and knocks them both out of the round. Lovely bit of discipline on the Famas, doesn't jump the gun, realizes the opportunity he's been given there and looks to seize it. He knows that he really needs to do good on a moment like that.
Yeah, and the reason is NaVi didn't know that all the lobby was cleared way earlier than that fight from Perfecto onto Flatro.
Yeah, it's like if anything, actually, kind of the one Flatro run into the door, maybe puts you under the false pretense that Bad News Eagles don't really know what's happening in the lobby.
But that was a quick rotate for BNE. You know, they know what's going on. Triple ramp drop, and they sneak all 3 into the site. So, you know, they catch NaVi off guard. They win a round. They've already upped their previous map's attempt, but 6 or 7 rounds CT nuke is nothing to be happy about. NaVi, they don't want to get run at in this last round. They drop util everywhere to deny that. Flashes out. This high tempo A play rears its head once again.
Yeah, this time though, Bad News Eagles want to try and put a stop to it. They've got the resources, the facilities for that boss man. Electronic getting out of there. A man down, NaVi wounded, but not backed into a corner just yet. Sceneri in at ramp, calling for rotates, and there's a double lined up on his plate, but only the one. GXX will be the guy swooping in for the multi-kill, and it's a neck-and-neck first half when all is said and done. NaVi still eyeing up that 2-0, but Bad News Eagles this time are here to play.
It's hard to imagine the playoffs in Cologne without Nadas Vincere, and 2018 was no different. However, it wasn't just NaVi making it to the grand final that made that year in the Cathedral of Counter-Strike special. The German team big and their almost miraculous run throughout the whole tournament made NaVi the antagonists of the event, and some fans will say it's a shame that Big Cinderella story didn't receive a happy ending. Big may have leveled the scoreline by taking Dust 2.
Copy left nothing to be desired. Knew that there was a possibility a player would turn around and check it. Zeus tries to hold off. They knew he'd gone into the corner. They find him. Edwards in the sight, but they already pushed back through tunnels. Tizian gets the shot.
But NaVi's Electronic became a herald of what was soon to come.
Great mid-round calls. Now it's on to Electronic trying to isolate. Here we go. They completely surround him. How the hell do you turn that around?
Do nothing about this. What?
Oh, he reads it. He reads it. And an arc. A power surge right through 2.
What the hell just happened there?
NaVi shedded their skin and their scales, and those two BO1s dropped right in the final few rounds. And now this Serpent is strangling, wrapping around BNE on the T side of Nuke. A winning half for NaVi, a dominant game on Ancient over the Bad News Eagles, and now elimination faces this young squad right down the barrel of the gun. NaVi about to pull the trigger on their CT side of Nuke.
Dual Berettas for Perfecto. Big fan of that. Taking them inside of this A bomb site. Simple posted outside, and Simple is going to be given action. The dualies are the thing to open, but Simple's getting run at, getting run down. Only good for one, as he is beat back eventually. Man advantage still residing with NaVi. However, Bad News Eagles, they've recognized the space they've got here outside. GXX trying to push up, trying to fight for heaven. Has a man locked in, and we'll find him with a clean tap. We're back into this 3v3 now. Electronic has pushed all the way through the lobby, all the way, and is now looking to commit to this wrap round outside, but timing's going to be everything, right? And Bad News Eagles have a good bit of room ahead of him here.
And NaVi realized this one well, though. They haven't fallen for any kind of secret drop. They know it's going to be
spot this, bro.
He is going to catch this, but he's going main. They know it's A. Both lobby players holding onto heaven and clearing the ramp side. Perfecto seconds away from success. About to spot this drop in from the top. Dualies. And more than enough bullets to find these kills.
Yeah, has to duck out of there as they do manage to get in through the heavens. Perfecto's going to wait for them to drop into the site and deal with them one at a time, if that's what it takes. Regon's actually taken the bomb down lower to B, while GXX is faking the A play. They've got him pinned in, so they're just going to take this fight. They are kind of glad that he's given them this 3v1 at the upper side of the map, and now the penny's going to drop. Well, hang on a moment. They've taken that bomb down lower.
Send those dualies in first, scavenging, spamming. Regan on the site. He needs 2 taps right here, right now, and he can't do it. Perfecto, I love that. Jumping round corners, making his hitbox extremely hard to hit. His hitbox, rather. And that's a pistol for NaVi on top of an incredible first half on their T side. We said it in the first half. This might be Simple's best half in Counter-Strike, the CT side of Nuke, given all the freedom in the world to roam and to move and to rotate. On top of that, Electronic, one of the world's best outside players since Glaive. There's a lot of things to like in the second half for NaVi, and we're just getting started. 4 pistols out for BNE. They had a lot of force buys, a lot of low econ rounds in the first half. Somewhat dug themselves a bit of a hole with their investments.
The Eagles are out. The Bad News Eagle Deagle. It's always good for something, it feels like. Ooh, clean taps is Simple. Keeps them at range, just kind of pushing and prodding with this A1S.
Yeah, the vent drop as well for Electronics. Put him in the prying eyes of this red cross, and him and Simple can just trade fights in the second round. Easily done. Some shaky shots, but yet to really feel in danger on NaVi. And Electronic in no hurry. They can't flash him back into fights, but these dry walks are coming to a close, and 5 alive would feel fantastic. That's what NaVi will find. 2 SMGs, 3 rifles going into a gun round now. BNE got to start strong, got to start fast.
They're going to need to come out swinging, really. Can't afford a slow start here.
Simple's
faced with sorry, go on.
Simple's 4-0 in opening duels so far. Stop putting him outside with the AWP. That's only going to get better. And Molly forces his hand.
Had to make a decision. Was decisive in his action, but ended up being the wrong one. Comes up short, spammed out. And an early advantage for the Bad News Eagles. One flat row. Deep outside as the util goes over. He will get out of there. He's had to drop his own smoke in here, but Electronic didn't buy it for a second. He's called the bluff on the outside plate immediately and just runs at them. That's a insane way to find the 4v4.
That's awkward out the gate for BNE. It screams they didn't know what they wanted to do, right? He gets behind red, but he has to throw a smoke from a lineup. Like either has to just drop it on the fly or call for some support to do that util. His teammates had it available, but they're stuck in lobby, and not just out of position for the nade, but also just going back got him spotted. That's why Electronic ran at him. He knew he was leaving. 10-7, 4-on-4. And an A site desperate execute that NaVi are ready for.
Util going to go in at least. This is going to be nice to try and displace some Die Young, who does drop off the top of Heart.
Sharp.
The fact he hasn't fired off is ballsy, and now they don't know he's close. Regon. Oh, Synopsy's dead to full damage. Gravity's found him. Scenarios at least open up ramp and, well, give them a route down into this B site. But look at NaVi, man, straight down the vent. They are all here. It's a 2v2 very quickly, and with one of these doors blowing off like that, it's really awkward for GXX. Tries to plant, the spam gets him off the bomb, and NaVi have done enough to run away with the first rifle round of Bad News Eagles, but a bonus round for NaVi. Super lucrative. And a worst-case scenario for how this opens up if you're a BNE fan.
Yeah, it's a nice idea for BNE, right? It gives them two options as they throw in an A fake. Either Synopsy can get something done outside, slash the hot player gets the entry, and then they commit with it. Or if they bail, they just double back to ramp with Scenari leading it. But NaVi is just so quick to rotate out. I do wonder if that door blow-up was on purpose as well. We've talked about that in previous games, that being an option. Leaving it open makes it very difficult for Tees to get comfortable planting in the B site. A 5-on-4 that NaVi find early off of these steadfast attacks for BNE. When they go quick, they're not catching NaVi off guard by any means. Spam found Synopsy, now out ramp. Bit looks for more, and he's going to be able to drop off if he wants as well. There's actually no support. This is the one time NaVi are not going to have a setup to deal with this ramp room, so Electronic can't retake it. He's got to hold on from hell.
Still, as far as stances go once you've lost ramp, these are pretty forward ones for NaVi. Bit holds on to lower. They get the info that GXX is down here in hell, and Simple's looking for him. Smoke out. GXX tries to play ahead of it. That's the AWP. Trapped in spawn.
What?
Simple hits that. That's crazy. We see that from the other perspective. It looks so fast, and the fact it's the no-scope is even wilder.
Dear, oh dear. And just the fact that he's going for that, I can barely blame him after last map. Check it. Disrespectful from Simple. Would you expect anything else? 12-7, NaVi shown up today. No fear on the stage. Crowd on their side. And momentum as they move. Flatro fast. This time he gets the smokes given by his teammates to allow him down to B. This is BNE's best chance of position alone to make something happen.
On Flatro. Ooh, off the vent angle. Has to flick back to it, but will deal with Electronic. Simple still waiting over towards ramp. Posted with the AWP. Right place, right time, but that flashbang looks like it's going to get him off the angle. He actually goes back in with the no-scope. Simple. Now that you've seen the troll under the bridge, do you want to pay the toll to get past this ramp room? Simple's moving back in. There's a man in plain view. He's seen him now. BNE get a kill. They might just look to go back here. GXX locked in this fight with Simple, while the rest of the gang still wait back towards the lobby. It's kind of awkward here, man. BNE are very split up. If they go into A and Perfecto is able to get away with something, this can still fall apart. Back of the site, he's all alone. Gonna have to do it, but he is doing it. 2 in the round. Now tucked in, the bomb dropped in Heart. He's buying more than enough time. This is perfect. Living up to his name, GXX through heaven won't have the angle. He's wasted so much time. And even though he's dead after the double, he's done his part in the round. Simple's on the ladder. This guy's been going for almost exclusively no scope, so don't mess with him here. GXX low on HP, has to cross for the bomb. What is he even meant to do in this situation? Won't They give him the fights, and they're going to come to regret it.
A bit too cocky to close. I don't know if they knew, but he just came out of heaven. There's no way he had that bomb. It should have been called by Perfecto, dropped in the heart. What a nice try, but his team never came up the vent. They never came through main. They wasted, he bought all that time. They didn't play off of it. They let BNE fall into the site, and that swing to trade, they will regret it. That should never be around for BNE, not after Perfecto finds a double on top. But if it was ever gonna allow you to build back in, it would be off the back of a clutch that quick. Great shooting. One of those rounds where a hands off the keyboard would simply have won you at a time.
Yeah. You know, I do think, I don't think they're fighting him there because they think he is. Bomb, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they just want to close it.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, just really trying to salt in the wound, and you end up paying the ultimate price, and you kind of now hope to yourself, oh dear, hopefully that hasn't reignited this for Bad News Eagles. Ooh. Okay, thank God it said written. I was going to say, who's going to tell him?
Bad news for you. And, well, good news for the Eagles that they get around on this T side. It was about time, 4 in a row for NaVi broken. Going to have this close flash. Ever since that one mistake in the yard take, Flatro has been assisted a lot more on outside. But Electronic is yet to be as aggressive as he once was. Cooled it off a little bit. Perfecto's starting lower. BNE, they get some room out, but because Flatro's not moving far, I would expect this to be an A play with him splitting main. They've got to try and draw Perfecto's attention away, who's come back up the vent, not convinced by this lower take. He threw his smoke and he leaves. This is such a nice read for NaVi. They have no info to go off of this, but they are perfectly piecing this puzzle together. As they flank the ramp side, as the util comes in from above, they can cut off this bomb dropping down the ladder.
Oh, some Die Young doubling down, and now the wrap coming in. It never even gets out into the site. It's a real rough one. BNE's Eagles reduced to dust. Nothing but feathers and bones at the end of that one there.
That's just NaVi having the map experience, man. There's no reason for them to have that info. There's no reason for them to know it's a fake out on lower into an A hit, but they make the perfect call. They come back up vent, they re-aggress ramp at the right time, and BNE, they must be confused after that round. They telegraphed nothing that was an A play, and NaVi are stacked to the nines and flanking. Experience shines through. 13-8.
I mean, this is very reassuring, right? Think about it. For NaVi, the kind of whole nature of this major changed just yesterday when FaZe were eliminated. It's like, oh, suddenly the big threat, the big contender that they were massively worried about, gone. And so this becomes one where you look at it and you say, well, this could easily be theirs. Regon fast through main, bit of a NaVi-esque round from him here, really, but only good for one from it. Perfecto tries to cross out, tries to just play the numbers game on this, and he's given the fights, he's given the peaks. Low HP on the main players, but not a shot connecting. NaVi starting to run away with this.
Yeah, it did feel inevitable right after that first map, after you destroy BNE on Ancient that easily on your CT side. On their best map pick, they don't even win the pistol. They force for every round of second half. They were never in that game, and even though we had a couple of clutch rounds coming through at the end of the first half here, NaVi have asserted dominance and dominion on Nuke. 14-8. Another buy with barely any utility, and that's a disgusting flick.
Wow.
Simple has been on it today. Is this his first orb CT? I think it might be. Not really. Been a necessity, been a need. He wasn't running it T-side either. Oh no, it's not his first orb. He's got all those no-scopes. What am I saying? But he's not really been needed, regardless of that.
Last time he scoped with the orb today.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll give you that one.
Oh,
GXX. There's the equalizer. And I tell you what, mate, he has been giving us a good game as GXX here. Not even really had to don that orb himself. Instead, been a lot of this high-flying rifling from the guy. Bit in a ramp. Annihilated from the peak of Regon. And this is one of these moments where there isn't really that contingency plan. There isn't really that kind of backup over towards ramp to offer any assistance. Don't have the resources after losing Electronic.
Oh boy.
It's given a lot of room over, and Regon will look to take the round here and now on the back of just holding W, keeping that pace high after getting the ramp kill. Giving NaVi a taste of their own medicine almost.
Simple getting very vocal as well. Probably not about the fact that they're saving. Trying to patch things up for that next round, as BNE have guaranteed a 9th for now. Ooh, Molly would give away the save spot, and it's not, you know, always going to be ramp. This is a map that actually has plenty of options to save on CT. More often than not towards a spawn, and so it's unlikely BNE will snuff this one out. Gonna run spawn side. Ooh, someone comes ramp. Hello, Simple's dead. Orb shot finally misses, and Regon does not. Tapping out 2 more. Okay. There's something in the water.
Hey man, they win that round, but and not the first T-side round we've seen them pick up. Don't get me wrong, it's a convincing fashion. It just can't afford to be a one and done, right? And there was some real nice moments to this. There were some real nice moments in that round there. So hopefully that's going to reignite a bit of a fire under the BNE Eagles, especially with GXX, you know, giving us such a big performance. Him and Regon in that round, huge, right?
Yeah.
Lovely opening sequence from Regon, and the closers won't bad either.
Yeah, I mean, they're winning their rounds off of getting quick picks, right? Making these main drops, making kind of crazy plays. But at the same time, NaVi have been really good at finding their opening kills on CT so far. So I don't think you're going to catch them out a lot. BNE still need to show depth on a T side of a map that they've never really accomplished anything on. they would have to dig deeper than we've ever seen them. And NaVi are ready to receive yet again. Simple orbed. Smoke wall. Quite a different one here. I don't know if it got mollied.
Yeah,
it
that's
seems like it did.
definitely mollied.
BNE either way setting up an A take, but NaVi won't be surprised.
Yeah, once again, you know, like you've stopped the fake part from happening. You've denied that kind of play the Bad News Eagles were hoping for, and so it's very easy for NaVi to try and get ahead of the curve on this. Now, this is where the slowdown from Bad News Eagles is nice. If anything, that smoke to keep them from pushing is kind of put NaVi in a bit of a weird spot.
They need this entry onto Bit because they don't have util to win around here. They have to just fight their way out. It's what they're known for. But Bit has a beautiful angle to just fall off and survive. He's reinforced that B site. BNE can't really go back to A. They don't have the util to take it, to smoke main, to molly heaven, to get those flashes CT vent. They've just got a clear CT. They're again just roaming the map, and Electronic has a perfect angle to end it.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to peek here, right? Can just sit behind the box, try to waste even more time. Does elect to go for the wide swing and falls to Scenario Perfecto in at the back of the site. Great in this position. Oh, he loves it. Gives us the double. GXX, weapon of choice in hand. Gonna have to come up big. Top performer right now for the Bad News Eagles. Been flying high all damn game.
Does M4 have ammo? Might need a quick reload.
8 bullets. 8 bullets to try and hold on to this round. He's getting aggressive. He wants to bring the fight to them, and that's a decision that he will come to regret.
They know they're feeling the burn. NaVi just patient in a post plant. They messed up a 2-on-1 in that exact same identical position before, and they will not do it again. He comes to them. And Perfecto, what a lovely double after BNE trade their way through every position. 1-for-1 on the top site, forcing Bit down lower. 1-for-1 through Hell as well. We needed a multi-kill, and of course it's Perfecto at the back of the A bomb site on Nuke, where he really made a name for himself on this team. We've talked a lot about Simple and Electronic. They take all the glory. But Perfecto as an anchor player has always been a solid part of NaVi's defense here. Shows it once again. 15-9, and it might be the end of the line for the Eagles.
Yeah, which, you know, gonna feel devastating, especially after riding the high of beating FaZe yesterday, going from that to this. It's night and day, and it's showing that, you know, NaVi, sure, they might have had a very kind of rough go at the opener to even be in this 1-2 spot, but they are looking to right those wrongs. Now they're looking to go for the trophy after all.
Oh, you know, it wouldn't have been right if we didn't get Simple in secret to shut down an outside cross.
Well, let's see if he can. Posted with the orb, right place, right time for Simple, but even though he strikes first, it's only the leg. Flash to try and get him off the angle. He's got support, but now they're both in defense. Find spaces here. They could get caught on one another. Perfecto and Simple sliding past each other. Perfecto swinging and gets that trade. It's a 3v2. Bad News Eagles starting to run out of steam here. Scenario in the vents, and Juan Flatro out in this A site, going to give a route for this bomb to come up, but in the hut, Sundar Young, auto shotgun. Is this how it ends for the Eagles? Clay Pigeon shooting maybe. On the back of the auto shotty, Juan Flatro, 1v3 to try keep him in it. He's got no health. Bomb's gotten away from him. He's hunting the frags, and Bit's ready for it. There's the closer, 2-0 for NaVi. A convincing win in this series. Bad News Eagles never even really in it. That one's gonna hurt for the BNE squad, but for NaVi, it's a sigh of relief. The NaVi we wanted might be back after all.
Have those reactions.
let's check in with our casters and get the game underway.
Yes, thank you, Veracity. Thank you, Desk. Unpacking a MOUZ versus Outsiders match for a spot in the playoffs. I mean, this could very well be one of the best chances that each of these teams will have between now and, of course, tomorrow. Hell, there's a lot of recency between these two teams. I think that's what makes this so interesting. When we contrast Outsiders and their Spirit game yesterday, never before did they have that head-to-head to this. You know, we've got BO1s and BO3s all over the place. And we've got frags opening up inside the B site. Kicker, well, he'll find JDC, and it seems as though the B site collapses early here. So Frozen and Dexter, a desperate attempt at the retake. I mean, we're talking 0 damage here, Launders. Nothing. No reason to believe this 2v5 should come through. And Outsiders just tuck in.
Quick start, yeah. It's been a pretty decent draw for Outsiders, and when you brought up that it was a good match for them to qualify off of, it's definitely true. And they also played against Spirit, and that was a nice test for them because it was like a matchup that definitely could have gone either way in a best of one. And it was Outsiders just proving that they were better, and they could have won that game by even more rounds. So I think that was a very kind of nice confidence win for them because Spirit have been aiming very well. But in terms of the teams that they're playing, you know, they haven't had to play against NaVi, they haven't had to play against FaZe, even though it seems like anyone can beat FaZe right now. They had to play against Vitality even. So some of the better teams in Legends, they've avoided those matchups. And they played mostly even strength teams and just kind of done their job. Like they haven't had any struggle. So they ended up losing their one game to Heroics the first round for Outsiders.
No shame in that.
Yeah, no shame in that whatsoever. Heroic very likely to win their game today and qualify. When you look at MOUZ though, they beat Liquid 16-2.
Smoked.
I mean, Frozen had an outstanding map. That was like a 2-point-something rating, 22 kills. And they absolutely destroyed Liquid, and they even beat Vitality on Mirage, which is, in this series, going to be very important.
Of course, that first MOUZ map goes down on Inferno.
Or it could be very important, I should say.
And Outsiders versus MOUZ, very accustomed to the Inferno. The 2 best-of-1 wins that MOUZ have over Outsiders, both times Inferno.
Well, 3 times they played in that best of 3 as well. They're 3-0 on Inferno versus Outsiders, so they could reasonably expect to take it. Of course, it's a little bit worrisome for them that they keeps happening, and eventually you would assume that the team who keeps losing can figure something out. So I'm sure MOUZ are worried about that. And in this series, the last time they played, Outsiders just won 2 out of 3 maps. So surely Outsiders have quite a bit of confidence coming into this series and are probably pretty angry.
Sure, yeah, a little pissed, right? Revenge.
Yeah.
Could be sweet. I think it's going to feel real good for Outsiders to have been able to get this Overpass pick as well. One of the biggest blowouts of this entire major was, of course, Outsiders versus Fnatic on Overpass. And now we know that Fnatic, they're no chumps. They're also fighting for a chance tonight to get into the playoffs. So I'm stoked. But we'll get through these measly pistols. MOUZ playing it passive inside B site will find nothing whatsoever till Frozen gets it back. And James, he'll drop Dexter. So we go from 5 survivors in the pistol to 4 survivors in the conversion. That's a Mach 10 move forward, all 3 AKs. It's good for Outsiders to start early T-side, and it's tough for MOUZ because it's pistols yet again.
It is. Now, this is actually like a BNE level stat, but the 2 matches that MOUZ have played on it Overpass, they've won both of them. 83% win rate on CT side, so they're probably already a little tilted that they lost this pistol to Outsiders, but they're probably looking forward to playing the rest of the CT side for sure.
1 Deg on Frozen. Talk about his impact as of late. He's been keeping it up. You know, and I think I disagree with Kassan a little bit prior coming into this game, saying that, Torzy hasn't delivered in the face, in comparison to James. I think that obviously James' op can just unravel everything, but man, we have seen, I think, the potential ceiling of, let's say, Torzy, right? He will take over maps.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's clearly been, very good. I think maybe he's talking about the comparison between him and, m0NESY, who's, top 15 this year.
Okay, fair.
So something about expectations out of Academy League comparing to m0NESY. If to be, I guess, charitable to Kassad's take, I can only assume, because I'm sure he obviously looked at what Torzy has done. And for people who are unaware, what's happening here? People who are unaware, Torji and Monacy are the two biggest star oppers coming out of the Academy League. And even in the Academy League, you know, you could say that Torji was even better and more well-rounded in some spots.
Go through that monster. You know, 4 players down. Mauser probably thinking Exertion can throw the Hail Mary at the A site retake, but no. James said, everybody pause, sit still. This one's mine. And, well, racks up that money. So James, as the guy who can always afford an op, will certainly be able to do so. $5,400 in the back pocket before the round comes to an end. 8.6 already accumulated here for Outsiders. So very strong start. XMG bonus. You know, we're talking 1 death against them in the round prior. This is, you know, a lot of just build up already for Outsiders. So Maus, buy up. Let's see what you got.
It's nothing to gloss over. It's a pretty ideal round here. The fact that James gets all the kills and he's the only MAC 10 of the round. And then him dying, he just gives up a MAC 10 to take over. So no big deal whatsoever. It's kind of worst nightmare situation, right? I mean, the difference in money between, like, let's say they all got opt versus even 1 MAC 10 kill. It's like, got to think about that. Ooh, Torji had an opportunity. Shot between 2 inside a con, and they'll have to fall off this position. So the fast play into con could have been a scary idea for Outsiders. It would have been a fast 5v4, but instead now they've lost their position. The T still have 5.
Torji with a sliver. Speaking of Academy players with impact, Exertion, the late addition to Maus. The best rifler in the Challenger stage, essentially. Rating was through the roof. I believe above a 1.4 prior to the Legend stage starting. And we saw that, you know, I think stats continue to get padded when they just blew Liquid out of the water. I think the loss to Big was actually quite shocking to me. You know, especially with the way Maus get through challengers, the way Big barely scraped by. And then that match wasn't even close. I didn't get to cast it myself, but just seeing the result was kind of like, oh, Maus aren't going to go flawlessly through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of, that's how it felt with how good everything was coming together. But here in their gun round, it's down to the 35-second mark. They better be ready to play every single second of every single round when it comes to the Outsiders.
Single is very important as we go late into the round because there will be a lineup that come here, but that's why Kickert is very aware of it. So there goes Dexter, and there goes Long Control.
Torzi snips Fame as he tries to press in through the flower pots, and Frozen still fighting. Nice kill from Norbert as he caught Torzi through smoke, but that flank, it's gonna be the end all. Exertion, nicely done, slots in at the most perfect of time because things started to look like they were gonna go south, and Torzi, well, he couldn't escape with his life through that smoke, so we leave it on Exertion and he delivers.
It's really well done, and he's the guy to make up for Torji's missed shot in the beginning by getting that opening frag, and then ends up being the rotator with con control to get them back into this round. So really well done here. A couple of clean kills though from Norbert on the entries, and just that amount of damage keeps the CTs in check. Dexter is sitting here with an MP9 now, but the op's still in play for Torji, most importantly. And because of that money that James made, an op again comes through with a full buy behind it. But Maus will be fully well aware of the problem they've created for themselves running into that MAC 10.
Nothing lands there from Frozen. Dexter, of course, communicating the presence.
So Dexter here, they wouldn't have thrown that Molotov if they thought Dexter was in this corner, because they had to expose themselves for a second. They might assume the re-aggression is coming. Of course, Outsiders are quite a particular team, very detailed, but yeah, Flit's watching it still. So, wow, he takes that fight on his own terms. That's well done. This is, however, a perfect setup for the attack that could come through into the B site.
Still cooking.
Yeah, with this setup, you would hope a rifler will be forgotten about because, you know, we wouldn't want to run to the site if there was 2 here.
Nice flash. Short player. And JDC. Yeah, he's got it. 2 kills. Nicely done. Excellently done, in fact.
Wow.
And then they slide together into victory lane because James, he's going to go for the save instead. Solid positioning. Both players delivering those frags, and Outsiders find 0 foothold inside that B site. Rock solid defense from Mouse.
It's the perfect counter, and they kept one on the A site, Solo and Frozen, jump spotting back from the back of Dice, or Torji, maybe it was actually, and Frozen rotated back up, and they just trusted him to, if they don't see anybody, then there's going to be a problem. Yeah, when you have 2 on the right side of Monster, that's when you know you've given the other team a little bit too much information. For whatever reason, Mouse knew this was coming, looking very well prepared once again. Played off these angles extremely well.
It's so wild to see these guys sitting here in the, legend stage of a major, because it was you and I just 9 months ago, I feel like, in Kyiv, commentating them in the We Play Academy League. It's really just such a blow-up.
Yeah, it's surreal. And people would just get used to seeing him at this level, but they won't understand how quickly they got here, and it's not even as if they're scraping by.
Right? They look so good.
They're ahead of most teams at this point, which is amazing.
It's, like back-to-back champions in the Academy League, and you think, well, that's great for them, but this caliber of comp. It's like they look so much better than everybody else, but we didn't get to see them in, any real top-tier circuits. So,
yeah.
So fun. Such a,
It is. And, Mouse have never had, a kind of championship-level team. They've been tournament ready, but, not major ready. There's never been a favorite at any of the majors in history. They've had some of the great players, they've had Chris J when he was in his prime as an Opera, of course. There was players like Nex and players like, Rob's played on this team.
Nico?
They have had some big names, yeah, but they've never been a tournament favorite, I think, ever.
Torsi falls away with the smoke down. It's, of course, that retrieved M4 for Fame. Frozen, nice. Slides in, cuts down 3, and bomb goes down to the dirt. So James, yet again, just like last round, left to leave. And Mouse's setups from A and B, both looking solid at the start of this CT side. It's a tied game already, and we talked about that great start economically for Outsiders, but now all of a sudden this puts a real dent in that progress. So James will hang on to it. At least that AWP will be present in the next one. But it is indeed Mouse with what looks like a good CT side thus far.
It is interesting that, well, they haven't played Overpass versus each other yet, and Outsiders now we're seeing them try Overpass more consistently. They pulled off a couple of very strong wins, and I think have shown themselves that it's worth bringing it's tournament ready to bring into Vetoes. But it's not a punish versus Mouse, who have a couple of clean games on it so far, and even though they haven't shown it that often, it's just they haven't missed just yet.
It really is wild that coming into the major, we hadn't even seen this Outsiders on the map, so it really does feel like Rio specific. I believe they played it 3 times already.
Yeah, first time I think it was picked against them and they won, and then they were like, okay, I guess we're good, let's pick it.
Yeah. Then IHC tried it, or maybe they were the first.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. IHC were the first, and that was the test for Outsiders, and they were like, yeah, okay.
Great first test as well, I'd say, because that game was actually arguably very close. Yeah. And considering the tier of competition difference, shouldn't have been. But every step of the competition has just been put back even worse. Fnatic get blown out on it. Kicker will not get the better of JDC. Ooh. Nicely done.
Wow.
He just plays around that smoke. He sees them coming, gives himself a little room to wiggle, and delivers. Flit and Fame left 2v4. And Flit will, of course, finish off the water player. Torsi, all the while, just trying to keep attention back towards Connector, because we've got this exertion sliding into the bomb site. Fame prepared, gets himself both, and he's got enough time to try and play this clutch with an AWP to boot. However, Frozen already down in the water. Oh, that duel was so close, but Frozen just 5 feet in front of where that Ops crosshair landed, and it would have been a glorious 1v3 to get Outsiders back with a round win, but instead it's Mao's continuation.
Yeah, they would have regretted that second peek. You have to be very careful around Fame. If he has an incredibly good aim, and even though the aim is also great from Mouse here in this situation, he will buy Outsiders some rounds, for sure. So that one was close when he switched out to the AWP, but low HP catches up with him. And Frozen, of course, still the best player on the team, despite all the new talent that's come in. that one will sting a bit considering how close it came, and then JDC's back pit hold was so solid that even this trade, it was like the best trade angle possible. It's like the other side of the site where Kicker came in, couldn't get that little bit of extra damage. And on Dust 2 versus Spirit, Kicker was not having a great time. They still won the map. I think it would have been a lot more one-sided if he had had kind of a few more kills. And so I'm sure he's kind of mad at himself just for not playing to the level we know he can play at as well. He goes very underrated on this team.
Looking like a little bit quicker. Ooh, lines up. Norbert, good pistol frag back at least, but it's the fact Exertion slides into the same angle. Him and JDC working in unison. I like Outsiders just playing with time like that, you know, doing something quick. At least 2 of the 5 players trying to press in. Could have caught somebody off. Did, in fact, get the better of JDC, but it's that tethering from Mouse's individuals that stops the bleeding early. We'll get Bomb joining Jame up towards long. Connector has been cleared out as well, so Outsiders reasonably thinking maybe we can just press into this A site. And we know on Overpass, if you can get close to that site, then sometimes you walk away with bomb plants. From bomb plants, you get guns. From guns, you know, this op would look real good in James' hands. But it'll be Dexter up first. And there it is, right? That, like, potential for the opening. A pistol dink right away puts things into a weird state, but Torzy delivers. Jame burning Dexter, finishing off with the pistol started. And here we go. They can get close enough, but unfortunately for Flit, he needs to double back, and that's going to buy the perfect amount of timing for Exertion to come in with that flank. The bomb is being planted open to the flank, but this time Exertion doesn't get in. Not in time to stop it. James slides away. Oh
my God.
Predicting that Exertion could have crossed. Oh, but Exertion, yeah, that internal clock ticks, and sure enough, Mouse stabilized.
Yeah,
but they do it. They get their entry, they get some kills, they make the most of a bad situation.
There's a cute little plant there just off to the side because of Exertion's flank coming in from Con. They could totally expect it. I think it's marginally scary, of course, when the dinks come through, but there's still enough players here to kind of safely come for the retake. So kind of what you would call a good round for both teams. He's still here in a decent place for Mouse Sports. Cyclone, of course, is someone we also can't forget as the coach of Mouse, also getting that promotion. Used to be a former pro himself. And apparently the only times that he substituted in, he top fragged when I asked just how good he was. So they're ready for anything.
I feel like some coaches would love the idea of getting to jump in for a game. But at this stage, I don't know. That's why we all travel with substitutes nowadays, right? Yeah. I've been watching Pepsor hang out with Fnatic, just waiting for his chance.
Yeah.
Speak of Academy players.
True.
The subs are even bleeding out. So Fame around the corner. Nice time flash from Jame, but frozen again, right? Just like I think comparable down to the monster play of the last round. We've constantly got 2 defenders sliding in, but this time they do, in fact, walk their way out and crouch their way underneath. Exertion in the water, JDC further back. Ooh, he could have gotten caught by that. You see the quick reaction. Kind of catches the CTs off guard. Nice slide out here from Outsiders.
Oh,
they find their slot, and with the flash, keep JDC pinned into this corner. Torzy's going to rotate down. Flit's going to press in close. And the bomb, of course, is planted. Heaven still smoked. Get this eventual flank out from Frozen.
Yeah, Norbert's taking a risk here, but there's no one up in Heaven, so he's got himself a really strong spot.
Could work out wonderfully. Flash over the side. Flit and Norbert both firing. These are positions known. Audio could cue in Frozen. And Flit to short seems exposed. That's going to draw Jame in. He gets that and hits the leg shot, but Jame survives. 2 op frags out. And sure enough, we've got Outsiders busting through that B site. And it comes off of originally long A presence.
Yeah, they just flash flame. I always call him flamed. Flashed Fame around the corner on long. And then he saw the double push coming out, and then it seems like, okay, if there's 2 riflers here, it's not even Torji. then the B site might be weak. So James like, okay, let's try the walkout on Monster again. We wanted to attack.
A fiery chapeau. But Mouse don't actually follow forward with it. Just 3 players inside B site holding. Norbert has no vision. JDC doesn't have the best of guns, but when you combine it with this position, you can shred flesh from bone. James says, "Give me all you got."
This is a stick-up.
Torzy.
Ooh, key spot for him.
Ooh, easy, minute flick into Fame, so he just gets completely barrel stuffed when he tried to walk into bathrooms.
It's kind of a must-win position, but a very advantageous fight, of course. So he doesn't even have a smoke to actually rotate out of here. But these aggressive plays are what makes Torzy stand out as an operator.
Ooh, Kicker doesn't even get a lot of damage off. MP9 succeeds in killing Norbert, and this one's going down real smooth. Run, James, run. Like every other round, James gonna fall on back. Content. It can be funny how, you know, James just kind of keeps his teammates all at that arm's reach, but then we see it last round when he needs to come in and just close down the kills. He's there. But if you don't do your job, James not gonna risk himself. Collateral. My God. But Torzy up and above. How many bodies you gotta throw at this guy just to take his op away?
Yeah. James is obviously a fantastic closer. He is definitely a baiter too. And his op play style, I think, was very influential in that 2020 period where a lot of other operas, CIS opera, Shiro, and even Brokey was, you know, appeared to be aggressive, but actually wasn't when you looked at the stats. There were so many people who realized that if, you know, your DPR is as low as possible, then your team just has an op for so many rounds. You're constantly doing economic damage, and you can never play an anti-eco versus a team that has an op, where you always have to play it like it's almost a full rifle round, and you're always on guard. And as annoying as it was for James, since his team kind of subscribed to his philosophy on it and allowed him to be as annoying as that, like, it worked. It really made it, you know, strugglesome to play against outsiders. So he's actually one of the few who's maintained that style, and I think that almost all the other players that were like that are just, their stats have changed a little bit. But James, he stays true to who he is. Respect.
Remember yesterday during the Spirit game when the crowd was actually cheering specifically for James?
They loved James.
I found out why. So Hugo, earlier, he got the goods. He was telling me that here in Brazil, the nickname for James is the good villain.
Ooh.
Because he always plays well against Brazilian teams.
Wow.
And they like the fact that he's the guy who powers up against them. And so he's got all these, you know, diehard fans. We saw James.
I love that.
You know, I think maybe because he also looks a little bit like the Redeemer.
Yeah.
You know, it's that added lore. But yeah, the good villain, James. He is one of these
That's
real
a great
characters.
nickname.
Yeah, right? He's a character for Counter-Strike. You know, it's cool just to see somebody with this completely different identity, right? It's art in that regard. It's his thing.
And he has a YouTube channel with Counter-Strike analysis videos with subtitles.
Let's go. But this round he's dead. Died early. Like all the greats. Dexter, he'll be finding Flit on the side of that smoke, so considering it was just the one weapon moving in, this one goes incredibly flat for the Outsiders. Feels to me like they are one of those teams that still has this affinity for like the one rifle buy. I feel like we used to see it more across the board, and nowadays they hang on to that. You see why? Fame.
What?
Nice double entry, tries to come outwards, and Dexter, excellent delivery. 2 kills, of course, to just shut down anything from the bathrooms. They may have bathrooms, but they may not. Entry to A. Mao's 3-round lead on the CT side, and Outsiders buy back.
Yeah, I think Outsiders, so we haven't had Mouse even tested on the T side at all. So they won their 2 games so cleanly on CT side. So that'll be what we, because this one they'll probably push a little bit more. You know, it's still possible Mouse just actually clean this game and win it easily. Doesn't feel like that'll be the case though.
Again, despite Outsiders having the best of 3 win over Maus as of late. That went down at ESL Rotterdam. I believe 23 days ago. Overpass is the new piece of this puzzle. And even for Outsiders, again, to reiterate, newer addition to their map pool. Big stage to pull it out.
Ooh, man, this is a crazy lurk. I mean, they got long clear, Torji not here, and they know he's not just holding this passive, so they can just walk all the way around. That is a free scalp. Oh my god, I think Fame just ducked under that. I'm not sure if he could have seen him, but this is really strange because he knows they're doing a bathroom setup, but he can only corroborate so much information. Now they're worried about Long because nothing is showing on the map.
Oh,
it's a little bit too late. If Fame came back, of course, he'd be able to get a kill, but now they just organize towards B.
Goodness gracious.
Torji and the rifle would be a little slow. Fame is making the play.
Oh, nobody sees it. He finds Frozen. Wants to see a little more, and there we go. As clean as can be. Fame finds the timing, slots in, JDC just in a world of hurt. And this is the great thing about Fame. You know, filling huge shoes in Yakinder's on the T-side entry, just absolutely blast his way through B sites on the rush through Monster, but now he gets this sneaky, slimy lurk through the A site, and it looks so good.
Yeah, and pulling off the lurk is one thing, but like Tarek wouldn't have even got a kill there.
Oh no, too real. Too real, man. Listen, he's playing Valorant. Don't kick him while he's down.
Yeah. He's a big dog over there, though.
That's true.
Doing good.
Yeah, it's true.
We're proud. But yeah, like even just nailing the second one so easily, staying alive, 3 frags overall. Fame did a hell of a job, but this is him getting sent on this mercenary mission out Long. Like, let's expose this gap and make them regret not holding Long for the entire round for the rest of this half. You know, they're always going to keep eyes on that.
Maybe a blessing in disguise that he actually just slipped by the first player because he ends up down a B site.
Very true.
Gets far more for it, so you know, could have jostled it to the A site instead, but seeing as Outsiders were ready for B, that one is hook, line, and sinker.
They clearly were confused at some point. This map is too quiet. We haven't seen anybody.
Yeah, they missed it by like 7 seconds, not even. So I say and sinker because Mao's taking on water here. Unfortunately, USP's up. JDC's P250. All they'll have to work. It's a nice early dink on Fame, but he'll slide away, and it's not like he's alone. He gets 2 worth his efforts. Norbert catches JDC, and we've got this B site completely clear for the taking. So this will be Outsiders to nab themselves a 6th on this T side. Still, hell, room to take the lead.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's getting a little too scary here for Maus now. They've got a quota to meet, and they've already kind of failed to do so here compared to their last couple of games. Been very impressed by Flit as well, as just in terms of his decision making. He seems to always be making a round, kind of a proactive move that keeps the round going, not just sitting around and reacting. Definitely one of the best pickups from Outsiders as well.
Did for a while kind of have to take on the responsibility of being the best rifle on this roster. I feel like Fame's slotting into his nows, but...
And I talked to Kickert, and I talked about that quote that Norbert had where he said, when they asked me to join the team, I was very happy because I always looked up to Kickert. Yeah. And I wanted to play with him. And then I asked him, Kickert, about that, and he said, oh. Well, he didn't say it like that. So he went, oh.
Oh, they're after me, Lucky Charms.
No. he went, oh. My first fan.
Oh, no.
I was like, no. He's your second fan, Kickert. I'm your first fan.
Oh, that's sweet. My first fan.
So the funniest duo there, Norbert and Kickert.
Oh, man. Tough to keep up with the other riflers on Outsiders. Fame, 14 kills. Flit, trust me, he'll get his. And obviously, James is the star of the show.
Yes. Yes, consistently insane on overpass as well.
It's crazy. I was looking at some of the social medias of the Maus guys. You know, I'm considering they're playing so well. I thought they'd be blowing up, but I feel like just in that regard, they're still under the radar, right?
Yes.
They've got a good Cologne run, but
if we looked at, like, let's say on this topic, Cloud9, for example, when they were Gambit and coming up, they were really, really good. for a long time before they're even popular at all.
Right.
I think MOUZ have to kind of do like 8 more months, you know.
Yeah. Maybe a little major top 8.
Exactly. That'll make a difference for sure.
Maybe a little major top 4. But they got to make it to the playoffs first. Right now, Outsiders, well, they tried to press into Connector, but that's where Dexter decides to deliver his 6th kill. I feel like Dexter only has 6 kills, but I've seen them be impactful. Locked out that A site once. Kicker.
Oh my god.
Just running all the way in, but so tunnel vision that Frozen can extend out, and then JDC, delayed, finds himself a little bit of impact. So Kicker was on a mission, but he forgot about the secondary objective, which was keep yourself alive. Nicely done from Frozen, just waited for Kicker to deliver himself to the crosshair, and Mao's gonna 100% lock in a lead at the end of this CT side, but there's still life yet for Outsiders. Opt for Jame, the 15th round about to begin. And look at this, Frozen couldn't have been easier. That second shot is so clean, and then JDC comes out of this smoke. He's been like a little gremlin down in the water.
One of my favorite parts about the last few years and the way people have been playing CT sides is dropping smokes on yourself in the inside. So it was like B-site Dust 2 or like Inferno, or instead of smoking the choke points off only, using the smokes to one way, and when you think an exec is coming in, giving yourself a spot where a Molotov can't land, and then finding a tricky way to play is kind of, I think, made the game a lot more interesting. So we're just seeing them come up all the time, even on old maps like this.
Ooh, Dexter. Again, from back-to-back rounds. First he locks down Connector in the previous. Now he's got the better of Fame. Got this same setup between Exertion and JDC. And Norbert and Kicker, fans of one another, just get smashed inside the monster. Flip will return with 1, and then Bomb goes down at the hands of Frozen, who has, of course, secured his spot at the top of the board for MOUZ. And Jame, final attempt here. No reason to save. He's got to move forward. And I actually
believe it.
Love that. You know, this is one of those rare occasions where he will go for this. But of course, he's still gonna milk a little bit of time off that clock. Slides in, grabs Bomb. Yoink. Yeah, a bit too far indeed. Comes out with it, and Frozen's gonna barrel stuff him. So, excellent start to the defense here from MOUZ. Outsiders certainly put up enough, but remember, half those rounds by way of pistol. So when we get into the second one, could end up being very important. Excellent first half from Frozen. Exertion right there with him. The Riflers of Maus good enough to establish that 3-round lead on the defense of Overpass. It's the map that Outsiders have been, and this could be their toughest opponent yet. So we'll see how they can slot into the defense, whether Norbert and Kicker can kick it up a notch to join the likes of Fame, Flit, Jame, the trio that keeps Outsiders in this.
Maus have been very good on pistol rounds overall. I don't know, there's just not enough a lot of data on Overpass. We'll see about the T-pistol. We saw a very strong and confident run through into the B site from Outsiders in the first half. But most would say 6 rounds, that's enough to get through a CT, to get through the rest of a CT rounds. And I'm sure Outsiders feel pretty good about this. So I think there's some pressure on Maus to make sure they win this round here. So we'll see how seriously they take it.
Of course, this match observed by Chev and J-Raz for the cinematics. Cameraman focuses on Fame. That's why. Delivers. First headshot and Exertion. Well, he gets the trade. James gonna press into long, and that's a big pickup because now he can come and help Kicker, who's not even alone. This site is stacked, and Norbert slices through the faces of Maus as they tried to get them footing into that site. No, sir. Total lockdown inside A. Outsiders pick up both pistols.
Yeah, it was a perfect feel for when the attack was coming on with that one flash and then the peek in from Fame and all the rotators, and James had a very nice peek on long as well. I mean, just a slight shoulder was all he needed. There was just no trouble here. No bomb plan as well. Now it's a 2-round game. We saw a sort of beat the odds performance on Cloud9 yesterday versus Heroic on Inferno. Scary first addition to the top 8. Is that the only team that's now in top 8, Cloud9?
Furia.
Oh, and Furia, baby, of course.
Yeah, you're 3-0, bro.
Oh, what a surreal moment seeing that.
Yeah, right. Still can't believe it, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Here we go. Pistols down long. Fame and James shall feast. They got it. James just gonna tear him up with that SM again, just like last map, or last half rather. Still first map. His little MAC-10 push down to the B site that netted him a bunch of money. Well, the ump also gets him good. 19 kills to James as he buys into the CT op. 1 round away from tying this up.
So when we saw Mouse Sports stack up on the other side of Monster in a couple of those rounds, really ready for Outsiders, this was something that Outsiders were very good at as well in the last couple times they played Overpass. James extremely comfortable opping alone and calling from the site, even if they're not there. Was able to make sure that the right side of the map was overstacked. So Mouse will have to work extra hard to make sure that he's denied vision, push back. They've got to have a thorough default. I think Fnatic had a particularly bad game there. But if Mouse are a little sloppy today, their flaws will be exposed. Oh, wow. Good start. If I die as an IGL, I stop calling. That's my toxic trait.
Yeah, you guys figured it out. Protect the president, or he gives up. Very quiet one here from Mouse. It's a very eerie day here in Rio, I can't lie. Kind of feels like the day after a funeral, with FaZe being eliminated yesterday. You know, there's some sadness in the air, but there's also like a celebration in the sense that all the other competitors are perked up. Like, oh, this really is open.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, it's like there's, you know, with death comes life.
Furia is major to lose.
James, he's going to catch JDC as he tries to press around bathrooms. We hit that important point of the round where Maus have to try and press forward. Frozen will get the ball rolling eventually here for Maus, but it could very well come to a quick end. They know where Torzy's at. He gets axed down by Kicker. A few seconds left on that one, and Outsiders never looked uncomfortable, not for a second.
Yeah, great map from James already so far on both sides. And funnily enough, you got to appreciate the anti-ecos in particular in the second round of both halves. Made so much money with just the SMG for his team when he was the only one with one. And now that he's instantly on the op, looking cool as ever. Getting all the freebies. Outsiders were the dark horse pick coming into the Legend stage. I guess MOUZ were too. I mean, super clean challengers, you know, when will it end type of thing. And Outsiders didn't make top 8 at the last major. They did at Stockholm, if I'm not mistaken. They broke into one top 8, and I think that's what gave people a lot of confidence. But just their appearance, their persistence at majors, you kind of, no matter who they're playing with.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, okay.
Bested in the quarterfinal by Heroic.
No shame in that.
Very tight games as well, double digits all 3 maps.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they could have won. I remember that.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And maybe still can. Rio. Ready for new major champions. Dexter, nice deagle. And JDC finds a home for his as well. But Fame on the flank. Sees the bomb plant, didn't stop it right away, but, you know, give MOUZ a little bit of money, give JDC a little bit of hope. Fame's gonna rip it from his cold, clammy hands. Outsiders to double digits with a lead and a 4-0 start to this CT side. That's the first bomb plant out of MOUZ. It took rifles to get that far, but we now have Fame and Jame, aka Yame, all the way at the top, 20 kills apiece, doing God's work here on Overpass.
No kidding. Oh, so 2 very legitimate deagle shots allow that bomb plant to go down. But that's just about it. Mousesport's starting to let this one slip a little bit, but right into another rifle.
Ooh, damn, look at this foray from Fame up into party. Sees the util, doesn't want to stick around. I like Fame for that reason. I feel like not overly risky. You know, when he has to go kill mode, okay, he'll run that risk, but...
Yeah, he does rotate back a lot. I mean,
to stay alive, you know?
Always compare him to Ykinder just because, yeah, he's clearly a great rifler, clearly a great entry as well, but not exactly the same player. In terms of overt aggression, being used very well, though.
Watching, you know, Ykinder on, say, Cave of Ancient, always peeking out,
right,
exposing his body. That's not Fame.
You remember like that round? There was like a famous round on Dust 2 where like Ykinder was up cat walking across, and then Jame was in suicide, and like the team ran out of time, and it was like Outsiders, like how do they ever win? You know, win maps. And we don't really see that with Fame in the same way. Where Fame pays a lot closer to the team. He's still kind of up front, gets a lot of entries. But again, it's more of a standard way of playing compared to Ykinder.
Ooh, they've gotten close, and so does Jame. That shot nearly finds its mark without even vision. It's going to bring Fame back. JDC's watching for the upper bathrooms hole, but he makes a ton of sound. That gives Fame the advantage in the fight. He knows exactly where and when it's coming in from. Exertion, well, he would have been spotted by that one, so Fame doing a great job of serving up distractions, keeping Exertion occupied, allowing for his teammates to start to press in. Ooh. But then Fame gets rocked. Exertion has the better of the angles. Torzi's got the cover. Dexter, he gets iced out by Norbert. The retake gets rolling, and because Fame's gone down, Exertion gets back into this site, and it's going to force Outsiders into a save. Jame will not press the issue. We see MOUZ get nice, close, and personal up on bathrooms. Fame, the only player that could have spotted it or stopped it, and that just doesn't happen. MOUZ, they'll take their 10th, their first terrorist round win, and it comes by way of a hit.
Yeah, that was not bad. I mean, that was actually a little too easy. And obviously, if Exertion doesn't get his frag, then there's a much more real chance of this retake coming in, because Exertion comes back as the long player to help out with the A side as well. So you want to give him a lot of credit here for the work he did on his rifle in this round. But Outsiders, they didn't seem like they had a lot of outs to stop that. If we were relying on Fame flanking long, like why did it come to that in that situation? But Jame got moved out of his position, didn't get them as they were kind of clearing around Banana. They didn't have any resistance inside of bathrooms. So not a perfect round here from the defending side. Oh, not bad. Not a bad timing on that nade.
Ooh, Torzy even gets hit. Stray shots from Kicker. Doesn't shoot back. Wouldn't want to reveal the op. They're going to go for the boost. And right now, the positions from the CTs.
They're watching it, right? Yeah.
Susceptible to it, but also prepared. Oh, Flit. Yeah, see you later, De Castro. Man's gone down. We get this aggressive run out from Fame, though. You know, I just tried to talk about the passiveness, but, well, he gets caught out in the no man's land. Exertion just clips him.
Did you confuse Torji's name with JDC's?
No, JDC
What's
got
JDC's?
John De Castro.
Yeah. What did you say?
De Castro.
But you're...
Because he died.
Oh, what? I think I'm... It's late.
It's not even noon. That's all good. Watch James go, okay? We got a recovery here from Outsiders. Frozen. He's seen a little bit of shadow here, James. Well, he dwells in the shadows. So back he goes. Frozen's going to have to save the op for Torzy. And Flitz 2K, James 2K, nice recovery. I thought when Fame got clipped out on long that things go south again. You know, maybe get close to the A site, but Outsiders just throw themselves at their opponents and take back that lead by 1.
Just one tactic in the middle of all that. The op coming forward is nice here for Mouse to try to pose a threat. But state of the game right now is a lot of advantages in the default for the CT side. Putting some damage through on stairs is really easy on Con. From safety as well, I think that's the big thing. Just blowing that door open. And it feels like kind of ways the meta has developed that don't really have to do with natural CT side advantages. Just start to lean even more CT sided, like keeping Con control with the spam coming through. NaVi's kind of the king of it when it comes to getting damage on players who are trying to default that way. So hard to get middle of the map control, hard to scale on A because of the oppers. And then you always want to try to put together B hit, but it's natural to start 3B because you don't need that much support on the other parts of the map. And so, all of that is to say that the T side has to work very hard each and every round.
Ooh, Jame wanted to get aggressive early. Smoke covers Mouse's approach. And he didn't actually get any confirmation that, you know, the amount of numbers that are actually coming at him from Fountain. Okay. No way! No way, dude. I'm telling you, he is the Time Lord.
He is prescient.
Sent back from the future.
Wow.
Just 15 seconds ahead of everybody else. That's so gnarly.
Yeah.
Torzy did nothing wrong. Read like a book. Yame set up outside the bathrooms. Dexter.
They don't know about him.
Drops one side of it. Yeah, exactly. JDC walks in unsuspecting. He's ready. Up close. And nope, not this time. Exertion barrel blasts him back. We've got Dexter now on the op, trying to find some kind of entry. All of Outsiders up on B. Or excuse me, nobody at B. That's the point.
Yeah.
Kicker, he starts to peel away.
Lots of incentive for Mousesports to wait this out and see what happens from the CT side. Still 2 here, sitting on the site. They don't know about the con flank, and there's no Ts that have any other map control. So Fog of War is very low for both sides. No Optimus Molly on this one, so they've got their good spots.
2 on truck side, Exertion. Ooh, it's gonna fall to Flit. Norbert, excuse me, comes in with the kill. Flit's the second here, the support. It's frozen into the clutch. He knows there's a player here. They're gonna try to time those peaks, and sure enough, Flit stands up at the end to give Outsiders number 12, and with it, put the economy of Mouse in a weird spot.
Those are some great shoulder peeks from Flit. Well handled at the end there.
Yeah, Norbert also locking into the corner.
Frozen could have very easily figured that out. You know, if he got that little bit of damage off on Norbert. This is a great opportunity for Mousesports to get into a 3v3 in a situation like this. A perfect amount of patience, and they got it down to 2 players. The Molly, of course, because they were worried about Long, but that Molly landed on Truck. I think that site gets overrun, but it was hard for them to figure that out. And now we're back to pistols. Mixed by.
Haven't seen a round like this actually net either team a win, I don't think. It's been a clean game of Counter-Strike in that regard. But timing, ooh, timing here. Mouse, they could catch Outsiders a little off guard. I feel like the possibility was there, but they didn't follow through. And just to kind of quell that threat, we see the fire come down on short. So a good amount of grenades actually out of Outsiders already. 1 smoke on Exertion is all that Mouse will have to support this attack. Remember, Frozen still swings with the AK. Kicker, here they come. Multiple bodies running up. Ooh, easy lineup. Down goes Dexter, JDC, and Torzy. And Frozen's AK still yet to respond. Kickert's position, locked in. Frozen, oh, that's 4. How about, yeah, baby, an ace from Kickert inside the B site. It's just the 1 AK, but it's a very important round. Keeps Outsiders with a nice 3-round lead. And of course, Kickert from the bottom of the scoreboard just gets his chance to shine.
From 7-12 to 12-12, a nice ace, a clean one from Kickert. They denied the bomb plan as well.
It's that 4th kill, right? The intuition.
Yeah.
That's the one that really kicks it up a notch.
Got a little too quiet.
Shuts
so
down
Kickert
the
just
AK.
started blasting. And we're down to 1 final timeout. 1 last chance for Cyclone to join the conversation here and help Mousesports out. This would be their first loss in 3 maps on Overpass. A reasonably good veto from Outsiders. But now that things are starting to play out, I think they're going to feel very good about this veto overall because they played Ancient last time. Now they don't see that. And Outsiders are still kind of proving to themselves that they are world leader level continuously on Overpass, even though we know that in history they can be.
Cross into the playground by 2. Oh, poor Dexter. Well-timed nade.
That's 51 damage, I mean.
Yeah. It's a big chunk of Dexter gone. Leave the guy alone, man. He's got kids. Torzy. Ooh. All of a sudden, I just took a glance down at that scoreboard. Torzy, 9 kills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you don't get it on the CT side,
right,
it's only going to get harder.
Contrast that to Jame. I think maybe I take back what I said earlier, because you know, in this head-to-head, Jame really does go above and beyond in comparison. So at least here on map 1, it's been Jame's time to shine, and Kickert's yet again. Straight up duel versus the monster push. The flash just not enough to cause him to falter, and so exertion. JDC and Torzy, the young blood, gonna work their way up long. Dexter looking to come join them, but it's a very forward position here from Outsiders on the bathroom, so we'll see if the site gets compromised. Norbert, it's his chance to be tested, and that Molotov destined for him. He holds it. Oh, the nerve. That's what happens when you spend time with Jame, who then comes in, strikes one down from bathrooms. Torzy's gonna get the trade frag back, and maybe Dexter can unravel this, but with only 12 seconds, oh, it's gonna get weird.
Well, they have him locked in now.
He gets barrel stuffed by Fame point blank. Torzy's not going to find any kind of an opening, and with it, Outsiders 14.
Yeah, and they're running around this flank, but it's going to be okay for Torzy. It looks like he's got a good position. They're coming in pretty fast. I think he's okay, though.
All good.
Yeah, okay, and they keep the op forward one more round here, but Outsiders, they lock this down. Nice play from Norbert to stand in that molly. I mean, that is one folly of execing late, is that teams can do that to you. You know, it's still 20 seconds, so it's pretty good. But if you know they don't have time for a first-tier execute, the molly comes down, they wait, they molly again, then you can take a fight like that, and they don't even have time to comfortably clear it. They're worried about back dice and bang. Anybody jumped up on the garbage bin outside of CT. So yeah, cool little play from him. Oh my god. The smallest dink on Jame.
Got that, you know, really big brain, so
yeah,
just deflects.
Right, 25 damage to the cranium. CT's reorganizing. It looks like they're actually instantly worried about B. They've got a good idea of what's coming in late. We saw Outsiders kind of do this as well. Slowly come up to the B site, wait, and the CTs don't leave. Bomb here outside of Monster starting to work over towards short. I don't know if it's being passed over, yeah. And now it's here where you throw some disruptive utility, listen for audibles and see if there's people on short. No, Molotov's going to come down in the boost, paint can boost position. But the exec looks like it's about to take place. Only a single smoke here for Torzy. JDC, one flash. No mollies.
Outsiders ready to go again.
Gonna give it their best shot here.
It's gonna have to be a strong assault, clean rifle work, and Kicker last time made absolute mincemeat of the pistols. This time does his job. Dexter down, exertion prime for the frag, and Jame comes in, catches JDC on the attempt to cross in. It's a boost within the site, perfectly timed. Bomb's gone down, and every chance Maus get to hit a bomb site, it just comes up flat. Torzy's been spiraling just like Maus. Now down by 5, and Outsiders a single round away from a win with a busted economy too. T-side is coming up short for Maus. Only one win. One round win in the 20th, that's it. And in addition to that, only one other bomb plant.
Yeah.
Rock solid defense from the Outsiders.
Once again, yeah, when they saw them versus Fnatic, they 15-0'd the half versus Fnatic on CT side. And seriously, they just look so comfortable the whole time. James just been really consistent on angles as well. I mean, he's barely missed this entire half. But the setups on top of it have all just been so perfect. Like, every idea is just like the easiest, least amount of resistance possible to stop a hold from coming in that spot. They didn't even have to seek out too much information. They just put 2 riflers in position to support James. They flowed between these different setups as the attack was coming on. There was really just no way for Maus to get back into the round. So in what could be the last round, Dexter will have a deagle and most of the utility here. Frozen has a kit for himself. but it's ideas that win matches. We didn't see a very good one last round.
Torzy relegated to an AK, but still one of the two best weapons between him and Exertion. Oh, Fame finds a little impact within Connector, which I'd say has been relatively underplayed from Outsiders. So they throw something different at this one, and sure enough, looking to end the lives of Maus here on Overpass. A new addition to what has been a very recent and frequent head-to-head between Maus and Outsiders. I think the fact that Inferno comes up next is a beautiful piece to this story. 3 recent Inferno games, both best of ones for Maus. They win. Within that best of 3 for the Rotterdam event, Maus win. And Outsiders will have to see if this, improvement and level from Fame and Jame can finally break through, right? You win too many times in a row, it feels like inevitably Outsiders will figure it out. If they can figure out that map here at the Major to get into the playoffs at Rio, my God, no better timing. But there is still a little timing that could go Maus's way. This bomb site's appropriately stacked. Flit, Kicker, Norbert looking to hold off, but they both go down for free, and Kicker also empty-handed. Dexter delivers the double. Jame dunks the nade straight to Dexter. The little that's left of him will be finished off by the follow-up frag. I said both names, and they both land. And this has been that deadly duo within this map. So sure enough, a 2 versus 3 attempt falls down to Frozen, and they deliver every step of the way. 29 kills on Jame, 27 frags on Fame, a 4K in the final round of Overpass, and the Outsiders now just need to improve on Inferno to lock in this 2-0. such fresh blood? It's time to find out. Outsiders, they've set themselves up for success, but they have to be better than ever here on Inferno.
Yeah, when it was close, we had a good map from Kicker, we had a good map from Flit, and James kind of been pretty good kind of in each instance. But in this last matchup, it was everyone was having a really hard time, and James was just kind of top of the board with a few kills, like 13. So individual level might make the biggest difference here, but Mouse have shown such a strong Inferno at this major. I really love what they're doing on T side. Their executions look so good. They look like they dry run everything on this map more than anything else. So I don't know. I kind of expect more of the same, unless they get a little nervous.
Lit.
Well, it's a 3-on-B waiting for this.
Starting to walk it around. They've already got contact back sight, so you'd think they don't check this. JDC jumps around the corner, dies. Fame. Oh, from a strong play on map 1 into a 3K, potentially 4 here in the Pistols. So, I mean, again, the game combo was the reason that Overpass was such a victory for Outsiders. And Frozen is going to be dropped. 4 kills for Fame in the Pistol to keep himself at the top of the scoreboard and to give Outsiders CT side the best chance.
I'm like already worried he's going to get poached.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Like from what we've seen from Fame, it's just like, dude, this guy is... Any player that's like Yakinder is like, in my opinion, the highest value player you can possibly have. When it's like a rifler who can play T-sides and who can play just aggressively enough, that's just lacking all over the world. And I'm not trying to call for it. I really don't want James and Outsiders and this team to have to go through more of those roster moves. But my God, he's a specimen, this Fame. I feel bad for even bringing that into
now it's kind of like wafting. It stinks in here, man. Yeah, ruined the mood, Launders.
My fault.
See if now James' chance. Oof. Just gets walked into oblivion. And Flit, well, he's going to keep on making all that money. Norbert over towards Pit, gets a chance to come through with 2, so down go the Glocks of Mouse, as expected.
Yeah, and Mouse Sports, I think they're interesting. If I remember correctly, the interesting thing about the Inferno stats they have is their T-sides in specific, even with their CT sides, like 55%, again, showing off how good they've been on T-sides overall. And they do have an Inferno loss versus Fnatic, who are also a very clean kind of team on Inferno, and that's one thing. But outside of that, we're looking at 5-1 in their last 6 maps, including the 16-2 versus Liquid. Youch!
That hurts.
It does. They even have a win versus Vitality 16-13 at the road to Rio.
It's all very impressive. But sometimes it comes down to the day. And right now, Fame is in form.
That certainly came down to the day for Cloud9 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. One of the most convincing maps I've ever watched. It was... I remember the distinct feeling, not to bring it back to a different game, but when we were watching Cloud9 online, I was like, there's a point where I was like, this is the closest to perfect CS that I've ever seen. And I was like, but it's online.
Right.
We watched them qualify yesterday versus Heroic, and I got that exact same feeling, like deja vu. I thought, holy hell. But we've seen a lot of great Infernos, a lot of very clean T-sides. Maus have shown some perfect rounds absolutely themselves. But so far, so good for Outsiders. A 5v4, important player down. They've got the T's juggling. And I think a huge part of it with versus Mouse is protecting Arch. Overprotecting Arch as much as possible. Got some very clean A splits.
Fame's gonna pop up in a moment. Yeah, Dexter sees nothing. They come at Fame and he delivers 2. So the guns get ripped from the hands of Mouse and there's not even time for the plant. They're gone, they're out, they save. Torzi and JDC, they will find Sanctuary back in spawn, but that's a 3-0 for Outsiders because they tried to test Fame. And he just delivered another couple kills, kept his head tucked until the perfect moment to pop up, and That's just the impact that Maus wanted to avoid.
Yeah, he just peaked with so much conviction. Very good aim, very decent spray. And the counter utility is perfect as well. I mean, the flash through to separate the attack, and then they get the smoke down as well as the molly. So everything is in place to make that happen. Back to the drawing board here for Maus.
Talk about the Outsiders' grinds, all the maps that they constantly push to the absolute limit. I would expect that if a win comes for them here today, it would be something like that. But again, Overpass kind of stuck in their back pocket. I love that little narrative that, like, again, prior to this event, we never get to see it. And now it's just been this powering up upon it, and a 16-10 that, once they switch sides, never even looked close. So, everything coming together. Good start here on Inferno as well. Smoke grenades to block off one of the two AK-47s, but it's just Outsiders jockeying for a little bit of control here. Kickered at the front of it. Nice nade for Frozen. That's him down to 40. He pushes out, tries to get away before another piece of util comes, and had he not moved, he would be dead to that frag. So lucky to even be standing at the minute 20 mark.
Targeting the defaults in all the right ways so far. James next up. Oh. Missed the choke, but wasn't chased down.
He'll be given a chance to reposition towards Library, but T-Smoke then blocks off that line. JDC will be in the front of this, and we have to watch Norbert towards Pit. Oh,
what
that's clean as hell. JDC just rocks him, and Norbert, well, he's only going to come through with that one frag, so nicely done here from Maus, pressing into the op, who was meant to go above and beyond. We've got 2 Ts in sight, another couple over in these deeper positions, and that could be enough to just leave Outsiders falling back already.
Man.
Yep. Jamie wants his op.
Yeah, this is 3v4, but yeah, it's no utility on the site, and I'm sure Maus are a little bit worried about it, but it's not coming through. Outsiders like, okay, we'll take that L. Oh, those 2 headshots from JDC. It was like through the library wall. I'm not even sure what happened there. That was clean as hell.
Stinkfest. I know at the moment Maui Snake is a critic of Norbert, for the time being anyways. Saying that he doesn't know if that's enough just yet. And so one of the reasons that he has Maus taking this series, he will have an important role to play here on Inferno, being the pit player. He's got the 4 kills for now, but as the gun rounds go on, we're going to have to see maybe another level. JDC, nice return, considering that he was at the bottom of the board on Overpass, for him to just shred Jame with those sharp headshots.
Yeah, when we talk about like Fame and Fame or Jame or Flit, Norbert's not quite there. But I mean, because of those guys, you don't need him to be exactly there.
For sure.
That's
my opinion, too.
Yeah.
Yep. I do indeed
Can't really
disagree.
trust Maui Steak because, you know,
as he puts it,
probably going to get 3 picks out of ledges.
Unluckiest analyst ever.
That's what he sounds like, too.
Literally the unluckiest analyst ever.
And I'm not even mad.
And I'm not even mad. But of course, he also recognizes his Frozen as the best rifle in the server, which that's an opinion I can agree with. Take the good with the bad.
Want to swing out off of it, waiting for the utility. It's a 3 setup here. It's a very, strong attack forming at the top of mid at the moment. Moto smoke coming down. They can play within smoke. Oh, sorry. That is the lurk smoke to go to CT, which can call some attention. And they are going to go for the B split. It looks like with just a lurk involved. Dexter now making it look like an A split. And these nades are working out very well. Look who's leaving the site. Kicker starting to peel back a little bit. Oh, late molly is nice and
Dexter gets shot at, but he's still going to keep going. Flitz lost track of him. Dexter, oh, he'll die. And over towards site, Kicker gets one, 10 seconds. Fame's over towards quad. He could be the end of this push. Comes out into exertion and then gets stopped by Frozen, who delivers 2 kills. Bomb goes down, but James got both shots through. Woo! Talk about a crunch on multiple fronts. That round gets nasty.
Leave it to Dexter to think to hide behind that pillar.
Dude.
Who's ever done that in the history of CS?
It's because he plays hide and go seek with his kids.
Yeah, that's right. It's all the games he's playing with his child back in Australia.
Sacrifices must be made.
There was some cool things going on there from Mouse. I mean, they made it look like it was split into arch and then smoked themselves out of the split, so it looked like a fake towards the A site, and they did that all with just their A smokes. And then the B attack, pulled Kicker far away. But Kicker, throwing that molly down as shallow as he did, really supported in delaying, allowing for James to come in late. Also, Fame does a fantastic job of staying alive, getting his one, and then leaving it down to the last two sitting on top of each other on that default plant. Very good attempt, but right now, I mean, Outsiders look quite stable. It was a hard round that came in their direction, and they didn't falter at all. If I'm not mistaken, one of the stompy games that Mouse had on Inferno was starting on T side and just clearing.
Yeah, wasn't that versus Liquid?
Yeah, I think it was, actually.
Very recent.
Just crazy to think about.
2 days ago, in fact.
13 T rounds versus Liquid.
Ugh. My North American heart.
But we did actually cast that, and Liquid were clearly like were super slow start. Yeah.
Norbert, oof.
Oh, that's a big one.
Again, we talk about him needing to maybe kind of go above and beyond, and right now he's getting isolated inside of the pit. He offers no defense whatsoever.
Yeah, you can't die like that. I'll put it that simply.
So, with that, Outsider's just going to probably set up for a save if we
guy,
know them. Pit guy.
Pit guy's got all the options.
Yeah.
He's got a big-ass wall in front of him. He'll have all of his utility. He has a one-way smoke. He has the bike for a headshot peek on lane. He has a small pit that he can rotate to. He has enough space for 2 people, so you can't even be sure he's a big pit. So
open distance all around you.
When you have all that, you're the best spot on the site. You simply can't die.
But he did.
He did. And look what happened.
Outsiders lose a round off of the back of that 1 kill. 1 man goes down. Ooh, nade? Oh!
Oh, they're going to die.
The plant's far, but yeah, that might work.
Oh, is it far plant? Okay.
Yo! Oh, Doja, my guy. Still here in spirit. And honestly, Exertion, lucky to have survived it. But yeah, laughs all around. Mouse, they got to give credit where it's due.
That was a well-placed grenade right there.
Exertion, 2 health. That would have been a double kill. Yeah, I mean, he's just... You could have gotten blind and still just tucked, even maybe giving himself a better chance.
Yes, well, that was the thing, right? After the tuck. He was completely alone there for a second, so the setup wasn't exactly favoring him, and in that situation, it was a perfect call for Mouse to go for the halt pop. But, yeah, he both ate the flash and didn't get a kill and died.
Frozen, who has been pelted by utility a couple of rounds now, is dropped down to 39.
It's always an interesting mind game to see. Well, they mollied logs this time, so they have the nades for Bell to complement it, and that's why we'll see sometimes people will smoke the molly on logs, make it seem like someone's there at least, so the nades go in the wrong direction, this time leave it open.
Oh,
Norbert.
Uh-oh.
Norby.
Again, and dink into Jame. Jame with the dented cranium. He's going to have to just limp back into that A site, but I do enjoy the fact that, Outsiders, they don't move on this.
How is this just, yeah, this is actually just going to fall into their lap, it might seem.
Unless Bomb doubles back.
Okay.
Yeah, with that util, they're just going to draw everybody into this B site. They're going to throw a couple players at it. Ooh, Exertion's been killed, and then that second player in is gone. But again, Mouse, they think that this fake is kind of wild away around. It's really just Outsiders who look to be transitioning into a B save regardless.
Dude, the calling is very lucid with the T sides right there. I mean, they get the most amount of rotations possible. Even that round where Fame kind of saves it and Kicker's late molly and stuff, they get it down to 1 player in the B side, and it's very hard to trick Outsiders, so gotta say, Maus are working the map extremely well. Have you come around on the logo, or did you like it already?
No.
No.
I mean, I didn't like it to begin with,
right?
And I don't like the rebrand either.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Still, like, I like it like more than right away.
That's fair.
But I wonder if they climb the rankings, will it change the, like Balenciaga, They just make trash.
Yeah.
But since they're so popular, it's like, it does change the way you look at it.
It's kind of true. I never even knew about Champion until they got into esports. And I was like, hey, okay.
Did you not grow up like seeing Champion, or?
Man, I grew up where we don't got brands.
They didn't even have avocados where you come from.
Why is that true? Why is that a true statement, man?
Oh, this is sloppy from Norbert.
Oh, man. Yeah, Norberto has been kind of stuffed back-to-back rounds, so our microscope continues to zone in on him like a singular cell organism. Will it adapt, or will it just die?
What if you just zoomed in on an amoeba and it just had a little name tag that said Norbert in Newsweek?
I'd say this guy's destined for majors.
Yeah.
Here we go. Variation in Norbert. He's gone from pit to a part. Oh, no! He just gets shredded by JDC, who's looked really good. I have to say, step up from the first map, Torzy. Dude, Jane just survives everything. Wallbangs through, constant cover. This time it's the op shot into his side. Torzy well-timed because we saw those CTs pressing into the site and keeping Maus away from it. Now they're going to have to transition into their third consecutive save over and over. That bomb will blow up as Maus rack up the rounds, but that's also 3 consecutive rounds where Norbert gets nothing.
Yeah.
He's tried different spots.
Maybe Maui was right. The JDC, we'll give some credit to JDC as well. Great shot right there.
Yeah, dude.
One thing is for sure, we noticed Norbert, he really likes to try to get damage first instead of waiting for the flash and then peeking after the fact. So he is kind of taking the full brunt of the entries straight on, which stylistically might work versus some teams. And sometimes you don't want to like let everyone out and then start peeking because your life can only get worse. But in this situation so far, they've kind of like figured him out in pit, and then where he moved to next, they figured that out as well.
I mean, JDC is also, that kill matrix is literally JDC, Norbert, 3-0.
Yeah, and JDC was pretty nuts on overpass as well. It's one of the few players on Maus that was actually performing up to expectation with his entries, his pit holds. His aim has been solid. He was kind of the one Academy player who he had like a full streamer setup with like streamer lights. Remember when we saw his cams? Like he was putting on a show.
I said this to Shuhei, unfortunately, when Gamer Legion were eliminated, that like we could just tell after a couple of those seasons. Like I remember just is always sort of that next level of professionalism.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I wasn't shocked to see most of them get call-ups. I am shocked by how quickly they've transitioned into a competent and competitive Tier 1 team. Looking to get themselves into the playoffs of a major is no joke. And doing it with majority Academy players is very impressive, you know.
Frozen in some ways is also still always going to be that young kid to me because he was the guy who was like on Reddit when he was like 13 or 14 years old. And people are like, look at this kid's face it. He's going to be next up. And he's just kind of a quiet case doing more interviews, which is cool because he's actually now one of the most experienced players on the team. Actually the most experienced Tier 1 player on the team. But I've still always kind of remembered him as like a Rops or some other kind of very young up-and-coming player who is a phenom to begin with.
This frag grenade we see in Arch has actually been left here multiple rounds already, so that's cool. Just sat there. Last time, actually, Dexter stole it. That time he went and hid behind the pillar.
He's like a magpie.
Yeah, he got a free, or like
artillery.
Or like a ferret.
Do they steal?
Yeah, they love stealing stuff.
Oh, these nades have been really well placed. I mean, they're getting a chunk off on almost every single one.
Finally, Frozen's not the guy that gets chipped down to 50. So we'll see him on the entry here. He's, of course, got Dexter right behind him. Gets a lot of utility out of this defense. Man, they drop it all. And JDC, well, he'll be met by fire as well. Norbert preemptively puts the smoke down in pit, and he will best JDC. Here we go. Round for Norbert, and that could actually lead to Outsiders winning one on an A-hold, but Flick gets found out in smoke. Norbert, he'll find himself a second. Bomb's going down in the backside. Norbert's got a player up on Graveyard, and that instant position from Exertion doesn't kill Norbert, does at least get Jame. Falls onto Frozen 1v3. His teammate put the bomb down. He's not come out from apps this entire time, and so Outsiders don't know where exactly he's got off to.
Yeah, this is the last place they seem to expect, and they're really opening themselves up.
Strikes one down, and Norbert, hell of a delivery, and about damn time. Wow. From 3 empty-handed rounds to a 4K from the pit, and look at the difference it makes.
Seriously, I like the round a lot from Mouse NXT with the way they sold that fake, because they've been so successful on their fakes that Outsiders conditioned to like make mistakes in the rotations, and this puts more pressure on Norbert because he's either been alone or only had a couple of players here. He at least had Fillet to draw a distraction, but Flick gets nothing. Norbert does everything right there. So that's very well done from him. And of course, the most important revenge frag on JDC as the opener makes that competitive in the first place, allows the retake to take place. He's probably feeling a little bit better after that one.
That's what we needed. We saw the weakness, we highlighted the importance, and then the difference nets them the win. Ooh, Norbert though, back to losing ways. Not inside the safety of the pit. Tries to press into short side, gets rocked for it. Flit takes his place, James slides into the arch, does it silently, so Dexter can't figure this one out. And now it's Flit and Pit instead. Tease, despite being this close to arch, already starting to peel back ever so slightly.
They're actually faking again. But they've got the CTs off of arch, which is the really most important thing. Oh, but they don't smoke library. They actually smoke the moto cross. One goes wide. Oh, Dexter on the other side of the other IGL.
Gets the timing. Flit will find him on the fallback, and inside the B site, Kicker can't deliver much because he gets smoked off on cross. But Maus also don't run through it, and so this boost could be perfectly timed. Exertion's gonna go through smoke. He actually gets Kicker, but the player up above, oh, Fame, caught by Torzy. It looked like Exertion could have been toppled by the player on the bottom, and then the guys crossing get killed, but instead, with low health on all 4, Maus will tie this game again.
Yeah, so the next protocol there was to try to bait for the boost so that it's easier for Fame as the shots come down. And Torzy, I think he was just really aware of the thought that that could happen despite the shots coming through the smoke. And they both do a good job of not getting tunnel vision. So another very strong round out of Maus, and you can see Dexter coming flying through on the lurk, and there's like, oh crap, it's B again. But they they get it down to 1 player over there. I mean, they're seriously doing fantastic things with their T-side calls on Inferno. 1 mid control, put pressure on Arch, got the opening frag here.
Ooh, that's how that goes down? Okay. Yeah, okay, I was double checking. I thought for a second, like, wait, who saved? Nobody did. Kicker just straight up bought Jame and Op for this round.
That's James Goat right there. Or Mule. See if it pays off.
If you don't win the
think
round.
About it. Oh.
Ooh. Exertion thinking he could slide in while the gun was on rotation, but no, he gets stuffed, and Dexter just a shot away from death.
Yeah.
Oh, nice nades. Frozen, Torzy, they'll kill Kicker. Not only having to buy with all his money, but also just bombarded on the CT cross.
Now let's see if there's going to be another fake. We've got JDC, who's been entering, working into mid at the moment. Frozen up close, and Norbert making a wraparound. So this is an interesting spot where they're actually going to wait, I think, for the timing through CT. I don't know.
JDC could
they're
unravel
just going to go
everything.
back off of this. Norbert's going quite quickly. I'm not sure if a decision has actually been made. It feels like they're trying to search with JDC and then deciding where they go from there. Still 30 seconds, and they don't want to bungle something on an eco here.
Fame's not watching CT, though. He's just playing counter flash, so JDC will get into position in time.
James.
But they still have to end up hitting this B site, which means James aren't really with him. Flit falls into orange. Bomb's been dropped in the meanwhile. Norbert's going to attack it from the back. That's going to occupy Torzy. James still in the position, but Torzy saves that. I mean, time starts to become a problem. Flank is there. Torzy's down to 8 as he gets hit by Norbert rushing up Banana. Whoa.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah, absolutely. That could have even been slowed down from Norbert because James has the fall back into the site. And it got very scary. But that lurk from JDC, they just let it work. They didn't Wow. Oh, wow. They didn't go too quickly. That was a hard shot from Torzy.
That's what they needed. Don't blame me, Norbert. That one must have stung. Outsiders bounce into this. It's Kicker, who's now limited again, playing MP9. 3 smokes, no incendiaries, and Kicker leaves his at the back of the B site. Rotate back into it, pick it back up. It's his after all. We get this 2 players set up inside a boiler. Interesting, right? We've seen a lot of variation out of Norbert, but we've also just seen JDC completely rip his head off.
It's been nuts.
Norbert has died like that in at least 4 different positions.
Exertion really far ahead. Oh, he's not going to see the op on lane. James, he's not even thinking about this at all. No noise has been made so far, but it feels like it's only a minute. Oh, James now he flicks around, yeah.
Not going to miss that shot.
JDC.
Yeah, bomb comes out.
Dexter, sorry.
He'll find the trade frag with that. The plant and his teammates in mid can scramble over quick. Flit has vision over fire. Dexter's got to be careful here. Smoke actually comes out. And that's going to keep Flit out of the equation. It's going to keep Outsiders out of the retake and also the lead. Mouse extend it to a 7-5 T-side so far, and now we're starting to get, colors of that T-side versus Liquid.
Absolutely.
Outsiders win pistol because of the fact that Fame drops 4 kills, 3 of their 5 rounds by way of those conversions. It's just Mouse tearing it up now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredibly lucid from Mouse. You can see exactly why they're doing things. They've been able to get Outsiders to rotate way too heavily. They've loosened up both Bracket and Banana easily. Like, Outsiders are thinking about, how do we pick the right site to stack? After some early grenades and stuff come down, Mouse are winning top Banana consistently. They haven't had to go through crazy fights where they just send someone to go in entry. And then JDC out of halls, man. Hardest place to entry easily of almost any map. Entering out of halls is one of the most difficult jobs you can have. And he has been one-bulleting Norbert, like, every single round. Wow, almost all their timeouts are being used here in the first half. James said, if we use them now, no one can interrupt me on T side.
My calls.
Yeah.
Cyclone not feeling the need to really get into the mix here. Why would you? Mouse, excellent T side thus far. Outsiders stringing together buys after buys. I do sympathize for Norbert. I feel like I'm watching him get bullied.
Yeah, he's getting owned. I mean, it's unfortunately, he's just getting one-bulleted.
It's just not my place to intervene.
Yeah.
Sorry, kid. It builds character. Little cache of grenades here for Kicker. He's going to come back in with another volley, but you better be careful. Kicker actually got hit by Torzy there on the fallback.
Yeah, I got flustered, couldn't throw his grenade.
Look at that bullet hole. Look how thick, look how far into the wall it is. Kicker still just gets hit by that. Well, chip damage, but yeah, the comparison to Kicker, who is a solo hold on B right now. Look how many players they're sticking over there with Norbert trying to protect him. The band of brothers trying to come together, but Mouse, they'll just do as they damn well please towards B this time, and despite maybe expecting resistance, they'll finish off what was started by Torzy. Kicker dead, and Outsiders have to save once more.
Totally outcalled in condition. So finally they don't fake, and Outsiders, they don't move because they think there's at least going to be 2 parts to this attack. They're going to work B a little bit now, but they'll probably show something in A. If they commit, we don't know, but yes. And so What a game of conditioning here from Mouse Sports. Can we still call them that? I don't even know. Mouse.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, no more sports.
Sports are for jocks.
What about chess? That's a sport. It is. Whether you want it to be or not.
What about ultimate frisbee?
That's a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should see. You'd be appalled by the list of sports. You'd be appalled.
Now, badminton.
Speed walking.
Badminton is a sport.
Badminton is also, yes, that's a sport.
Little badminton duos, my God. The finesse. Here we go, Mouse. Keep tearing it up. Again, you know, when we're playing for a spot in the playoffs at a major, yeah, you don't want that to be the time that Outsiders finally figure out your Inferno. Put them down nice and easy. Push this one to Mirage, and then we'll get a bunch of Pug Stars duking it out. But for now, Outsiders, why not? You know, throw caution to the wind, get down Banana, start to fight, in fact. No more responsive CS. Go ahead, take your peeks, take your duels, and look what it does. Choose up Mouse here. 3 frags down already at the minute 15 mark, and Flit, well, he'll be up next. It's John de Castro, who, honestly, has had some really sickening headshots versus Norbert.
Yeah, you just look at the stats, and you'd be like, oh, who's the best player on the team? It was definitely JDC this half.
What's crazy is, you know, JDC only has 7 kills. It's just the fact that 4 or 5 of them is against Norbert every time. And Flit, well, he'll put him down for good. At least here around 14, looking like it's Outsiders to take. Torzi, T-side, tons of money for the follow-up. So honestly, do as much damage as you can. See if he can add one to the highlight reel. No, sir, nothing at all for Mouse in round 14. It'll be Outsiders with a 6th as they gun for the 7th.
Continues to be competitive. And Outsiders, I mean, they never actually tried to do that double swing on the half wall. Frozen is a very fierce B default, and on Liquid, I think he got a 4K. It was so close to an ace. It was like literally shades of Freiburg with how insane it was when it came to attacking the B site. And Outsiders, while they've done a good job of getting damage on Banana without showing themselves, in kind of a big style fashion, throwing nades from sight, way back, leaving a lot of HEs in particular, they never got those kills. And Mouse were doing great at keeping 5 alive long periods of time in this half, and then just making it about the execs and not just Banana control.
There we go.
So consistent with those.
Right? Tries to track it through the walls. And he'll have to put that one out as he throws out his own Incendiary. We get a little bit of support here for Exertion. 2 members of Mouse up mid, bomb in tow. It's going to be an A hit to end it all. James gone, though, right? He did Norbert's job of being that front runner at A site, and he said, okay, it's 5v4. You got this. Leaves him inside of the pit. Leaves Flit nearby, and Exertion, I like this. He finds his little bit of vision over the smoke. What a risk to run.
It's a one-way for him on that while it's still up.
But no CT actually shows anything, so now apartment smoked off from the pit. Norbert won't have anything to put out fire, but it's just Dexter's Molotov, really, that can be thrown. And so it forces Norbert forward. Flip's going to take the top rope from Graveyard, kills Exertion, and now all that's left of Mouse stranded on the short side. It's a 3v5 attempt to close the T-half, and Frozen brings it back by 1. Norbert's nade finds its target. He invites Frozen to come peering down to the little pit. 15 seconds left. Dexter, it's all that's going to be able to fight here 1v4. He's surrounded, swarmed, and dealt with. As Outsiders will add 2 rounds at the end of that half to their tally. It's only 7 on a CT side. You wouldn't think it's enough, but we'll find out in just a moment.
I think our challenger stage was really good. We played how we wanted. To be honest, it was a little bit surprising we went 3-0, but I was expecting we will do good because our preparation was really good. We had a boot camp in Hamburg, so yeah, we were ready. And yeah, everyone played really well. The one map we dropped, it was Inferno versus Fnatic, right? And I think it was on me. I didn't really play good on that map, and also on the city side, I had several mistakes, but we already talked about it, and yeah.
The biggest difference in Challenger stage and in the Legend stage that in Legend stage is much better enemies, but at the same time in Challengers it's the good enemies as well, but the best of the best is right now in Legend stage.
Well, we always knew that MOUZ should have the edge on Inferno. Historically, between these two teams, and there's a lot of history, it's always gone their way. I think that, of course, after seeing the T-side versus Liquid, that Outsiders should be content with 7, but know that this is still very much an uphill battle. They're going to have to go above and beyond if they want to truly close this 2-0. If not, Mirage not far off, and a CT side here from MOUZ could be the quick end.
Shooting 55% CT and T side, MOUZ should feel fine. Got some CT advantages. Outsiders, though, some convincing pistols so far in this game. I think won both on Overpass. All 3, I guess, to kick this game off. Shooting for the 4 out of 4. And that would be a recipe for a 2-0 upset, potentially in a matchup that seemingly is quite close and not a storied history, but so much frequency in terms of their last couple of events. Most persistent map of all is Overpass. Sorry, is Inferno. 3 games played. This is the 4th time. And now their 4th appearance playing against each other.
Yeah. When it's, you know, their best of 1 map, it's always MOUZ. Even in the best of 3, they pick it up, but that best of 3 was Outsiders' match win. So outside of Inferno, technically Outsiders have MOUZ's number. Curious with Mirage in the waiting room. Speaking of waiting, down to the 42nd mark, we've got Flash and a Molotov between Jame and Norbert. JDC sees smoke and peels away. There is no one in the A side.
Man, there's no one pit.
Nobody home.
Okay.
Except Torzi. Decides to get aggressive with Berettas. Takes down Outsiders IGL, and the bomb plant will come for free. I wonder if that's surprising to Outsiders, that there's really no resistance other than Torzi running through a smoke, but we'll have Apartments control for Flit, and that could bode well.
Yeah, Hall's control is huge. Torzi's dualies, I assume, are going to make a big difference here if they try to run down the site. They've got a split coming in, and Flit's going to get in the mix.
And the retake smoke goes down in front of Pit. Fame and Norbert kill a piece, but Trade's looking like the CTs come in. Norbert's going to have to run, try to get on bomb, and frozen.
Wow.
Nice tap up into Flit. The headshot's clean, the cover's great, and Dexter, ice in his veins, gets to stick that defuse all the way. So it's only 3 out of 4 now for Pistols.
Actually crazy Dexter runs for that defuse when he has a 10-second stick, but it's the reason that it pulls the T's
just
in his direction, just allows Frozen to have some easy fights. So, you know, very tricky play, basically. Nice opening kill, and good disrespect to that arch smoke. I mean, if this comes down to 5v5 in the retake, it's a lot more difficult. So 5v4, they run their advantages really well. And they split nice and fast. It's chaotic. It could have gone any way, and for Outsiders, they'll be very happy to get a plant. It does remove the amount of SMGs you can have on this round from the CT side, so that in itself is a win.
Oh,
no! Oh
okay.
My God.
Okay. Kicker.
Stray shot through the smoke. Yeah. Now there's 2 more CTs over on the B site. Torji, though, one of the good guns here inside a pit.
Sees them. They're coming for him. He'll throw that down preemptively, but it's actually Outsiders to also smoke him off. Oh, Norbert. Oh, Flit. Yikes. Outsiders with Galils have found their home.
Norbert said, I can entry too. Damn, those sprays were not very good. Not a single point of damage done to Outsiders.
Not
on
one
this
bullet.
Round. Wow. Nothing has landed.
And we saw Exertion over on Banana just swinging the baseball bat in the dark room.
Ooh.
Some damage comes through, but of course James survives it.
Wow. Wasn't expecting that on this round.
I'm telling you, a meteor could hit this planet, and the only guy who lives is James.
Yeah.
He takes so much damage all the time, constantly getting headshot, and is okay. So, a spanner in the works with this upset.
Wonder why they look so flustered there in the two pit hold. They both just missed so badly. Feels uncharacteristic. I don't think that'll happen again, but for Outsiders, they're just like, cool. Didn't have to rebuy a single gun and got upgrades to the silenced M4s.
That free change of seat, premium economy. Good to go. Meanwhile, Mao's left eating peanuts. Single FAMAS, pistols sprinkled around it. Makes things curious, just because, you know, a blowout on this second half, kind of like what Outsiders did within Overpass, would have just kept Mao's fresh on everybody's minds. Kicker, wowza, runs in. There's a CT between them, but Exertion will get found out. His shins seen by James, and with 3 Ts all in these corners, I mean, that was the Bermuda Triangle of bottom banana. Mao's players disappear, never to be seen again. Like Amelia Earnhardt.
Earhart.
Okay.
We actually have the same birthday.
Do you?
Yeah.
Spooky.
No.
Oh yeah, Earnhardt. Those are those are NASCAR racers.
Are they?
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt.
Okay.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr.
It's almost like a plane, I guess. Not quite as fast.
Pistols are in the right spot here. Oh, come on, Mouse. Get something going. 1 kill off of Oranges. Dexter, yeah, swimming with the fish. As Flit puts an end to that one, ties this game up 9 apiece. And CTs still can't buy.
We don't like to get too excited on map 2 because in map 3 could happen, but this is for a legend spot, so it's about to get very tense here for Mouse Sports.
Nay, sir. Playoff spot.
Or sorry, yeah, it's to get through Legends. Top 8 on the line.
My God.
And a very, very close kind of ranking matchup, so you just can't look at the fact that you're up 2-1. You got to remember that this could be the easier one. I mean, you're not playing against NaVi.
Yeah.
You're not playing against Vitality.
Yeah, they're both powering up.
And even if they're 1-2, you know that it's still those teams. They can be good at any moment.
And you're hoping somebody else puts them to bed so that maybe you don't have to.
Oh, boy.
That was 5 kills in an instant.
Oh, boy.
A meat grinder on Banana. Mouse get chorizoed.
Yummy.
And at least now they'll be able to bounce in with a bye. So Fame just padding stats. Kicker right there with him. That's the A1S doing its work. The sounds of success for CTs. Except it's in the hands of Fame. He stole it. That boon to the early economy because of the force buy win. Oh. T-side find a home for that frag. It's Exertion and Frozen both chipped away, and Exertion even sitting inside the fire, now only on half. So Outsiders, they see that as maybe a chance to go take Banana. Now we saw Outsiders very far and few between going for the actual pushes down Banana for their aggression on the B site. So far, Mao's playing it similarly.
Oh, Mao's won the pistol in this one, actually, right? But they didn't streak. They got 3 rounds and 4 rounds in a row the last 2 times on CT side at the beginning of both halves, and ended with 8 and 10 rounds respectively versus the Outsiders last time around. And that was off the first half, and they ended on T side and just kind of cruised to the finish line. They were very good at adapting when it came to their T sides, even in this game, across a lot of their maps. So some of the markers of why they won previously are not really there right now. But that'll help out a lot. Norbert goes down inside of Halls.
it's actually Outsiders all the way back. Luckily, you can rotate as many times as you want.
That's true.
And they've still got the nades to try and follow through, so it's going to come down to the wire and exertion from the back of Quad. Oh, yeah, now he's smoked off. Frozen, top orange. Oh, Kicker blasts him away. Both kills. Still time to plant. He's got it. Flit busy with the numbers, but down to the wire.
Jesus.
They crunch into that B site. They smash through both CTs. No defense offered up from the original B defenders, and now it's going to be the MOUZ retake with man disadvantage. They take a glance at site, and they think better of it. All they want to do is leave.
And Outsiders are going to let them. They have just been looking to win these rounds as cleanly as possible.
That's so Jame.
Dude, yeah, he was like, this is a bad idea. I'm going to tell you this. You got to believe me. We have to go back to B. They even set up the God Flash perfectly, and it's so rushed. I think MOUZ are just thinking we're going to get a free frag here if we just sit and watch. And instead, the guy who's sitting on top of the second oranges, he's blind for like what feels like 4 seconds. He is out of the round. Kicker and the entries right now for Outsiders have been pretty impressive, gotta say. That's why it looks so ridiculous.
Because it is.
Yeah.
And Flit, he just stuck that plant where he could.
Well, another buy here with the saved guns. Well, how much of an investment actually? It's so annoying to have rounds like these because you're like, we can win this round. We don't even, they're actually full investing. The problem is the op. If you have like 3 rifles and you go, okay, we put some pistol behind them, we have a good chance, and our money just stays exactly the same. But now they're just going into a full investment, and they get all their nades and everything like that.
Pretty
but
healthy.
No, it's totally a good buy.
Yep.
But they spent all their money, of course. It feels like a lot rides on this. Look at the amount of money that Outsiders have right now.
A ton of money and also a ton of frags, man.
Yeah.
The kill department just outdoing MOUZ.
Yeah, Dexter has like 30 ADR at the moment.
Honestly, bless Norbert for getting smoked in that first half. His big 4K moment was really all he offered us on the defense. And now he's right up there with them, trying to keep it going. JDC, easy angle. Of course he kills Norbert again. It's just the one thing, the one piece of continuity across both halves. Fame's going to get the revenge. Dexter slots in, hides in the corner. Kicker just cancels him out. Drop kick in the corner of the bomb site, and it's Outsiders to just slide right through with ease.
Their ability to make people uncomfortable, they pushed up, made it feel like the full exec was coming and that everyone was going to run lane. CTs were in really great crossfire positions to stop them if they did, and then they just paused for a second, threw their big pit molly, took an off angle on the rotate, and then the player on site has nothing. The split's coming in from Arch, the smokes come down. MOUZ decided to play 3B off that round, and it's like a little bit of them. You know, MOUZ were doing this really well at a different speed, but it's very similar. But of course, one thing is constant. JDC had to kill Norbert, no matter what happens.
Norbert has accepted his
Norbert
role.
might be having a great game if not for JDC. He still has 12. He's still somehow positive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even though it feels like he's seen just JDC's face for like 1 second every round.
And JDC is 9 kills, 14 deaths.
Just all Norbert.
At least 6 of them.
Can I check while the round's live? Let me see.
I swear.
Yeah, I need to see this kill matrix. It's got to be like 8-1 or something.
It's insane. It's just this one little, like, you know, underlying story within this head-to-head. And while Outsiders rack up round wins, Norbert's like, bro, give me a break. Just give me some space,
Why do you hate me?
And JDC is just attached to his back. Burying him round after round. Tons of utility pressure on Torji. He's down to 44 health. Kicker's going to try to move in, but there's Frozen, who has hit hard for MOUZ. Getting an opening kill. Dexter, that one comes easy. Norbert, I mean, you deserve it that time. Runs out Boiler, looks the wrong way, completely alone, and just gets ended. So double man advantage for MOUZ, a good chance for the CT side to get back in with a win. But of course, Outsiders, they'll press with what they can, right? Smokes over on Arch. A chance to push up from lane. All you have to do is clear out this pit. It's JDC and Dexter. They're going to be smoked off. That gives space to the T's, but Dexter delivers. Flit finds the quick response. JDC slides out, and he's got himself all 3. Or 2. But hey, it looks good.
He ended it. Yeah.
That's all that
nice
matters.
bit hold overall. They've been consistently smoking inside of the pit to make sure he can't use his one-way. That's one thing. Sometimes you'll molly, and then it'll get smoked out, and then it just creates a hard situation to scale. Definitely, you can molly if you know that they don't have any smokes left over or something like that, but situations a lot of the times calls for a smoke for sure. This is well done. They get pulled apart a little bit. Remember how that opening kill came down, frozen at the top of Banana. Into Norbert dying, coming out of Boiler.
Kicker.
Oh, it's a fast strat, man.
Real fast. Torzy, he's smoked off as well, so it's going to be tough for him to get out of here. Kicker goes running into the bomb site, almost gets the kill to Dexter. Barely he's hanging on. Torzy cleared out. Norbert's got a double kill.
That's a site.
A site smashed wide open again.
What the hell?
Busted like a window.
Through lane only on a half buy.
Mouse shattered.
They were just not ready for anything fast right there. Torzy in the hall's like,
so awkward of a spot.
Easy default right now. I'm going to get one kill, and it's going to be chill. They get swarmed.
Wow. Outsiders, led by the Time Wizard. He knows what to do and when to do it.
Period. That should go on the back of his shirt.
That's Outsiders 13th. The economy for the CTs, it'll be okay.
Yeah, the saves are huge.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Their hands have been forced. Bomb will kill Jame. Yeah.
Even that, the new Inferno bomb is the only thing that can kill Jame.
It's the only thing.
Consistently.
His choice.
Only
Go
Valve,
down with it.
Only Valve can take him. insane calls right now coming out. That fast lane hit. The round before it doesn't go too well, but outside of that, some good T rounds here so far from Outsiders. They are 3 rounds away from locking in top 8.
Crazy.
Furia, Cloud9, Outsiders.
Yeah, bro.
Already?
Yeah, everyone.
It's not even the 2-2 matchup.
Right?
It seemed like it needed to be the 2-2, map 3, overtime, second overtime.
Yes.
To make sure that Outsiders were really paid by the round.
You know, Jame 1 versus 3 out of nowhere type close.
Yes.
That felt like the only formula that Outsiders were supposed to use. This is quite nuts.
It would be revenge on Mouse, top 8. Most important, I mean, I don't think they care about revenge versus Mouse compared to top 8.
I think that actually just works really well in Outsiders' favor in the sense that there's been a lot of maps played between these teams. And again, a lot of Inferno. A lot of Inferno every time.
And the pressure conversation comes in. I mean, this is like Mouse expecting to win this, and it's Outsiders, the team that we feel like are going to be just more regulars in pressured situations like this and have never really faltered. They lose rounds because they sometimes can lose rounds, but
it's not always pretty.
It's almost never because of the pressure. That's what it feels like. So.
If anybody was going to crumble under pressure here on the side of Outsiders, you know, we could have expected it from Norbert, who still has some criticisms around him. We could have thought maybe Fame would drop off and not deliver because, again, he's newer. You know, this is an Outsiders that at the last major did not make it through Legends. They fell 1-3 in that group. Lost to G2, and then they lost Yakinder. And you'd think, like, if you couldn't make playoffs with Yakinder, and then all of a sudden you lose him on your roster, how can you reinvent yourself? And if you do manage to reinvent yourself, can you do it fast enough to make it into, again, playoffs at the very next major?
James said yes.
And I love the fact that they also come through and just say, like, we can't replace him 1-for-1. We're going to have to change a bit.
Yeah.
They have...
But let's see here. Mao's a little bit low on grenades, but still very alive in this round. Oh no!
Missed shot.
Oh, that's a bad miss.
Again.
Torzi with 2 players on A dead. Norbert kills.
Again.
Torzi and the JDC goes down and they just explode and there's no chance. There's such a similarity between the way in which Outsiders are winning these rounds versus how Mao's did it to them. The tempo's a little bit different, but right here they were literally not even ready to full exec with Fighter. 2 players still at the top of Banana, working the map and the default.
It's just the early success at A, right? I don't think Outsiders...
Look at this money, man. There's a huge incentive to just actually try to commit to chasing down 3 players in their perfect save positions.
12,000 on Fame. I mean, you could buy half the team.
This could be the map if they don't stay alive in this save.
Mao's best of luck. Hang on for dear life. Exertion, back sight. And man, has he ever been quiet? Only 8 kills on this map. He's going to be found out. Traded by Fame. Easy does it. Flit. He's going to fixate on to construction. They're hoping, they're holding, they're hanging on. Fame in the last few seconds, he could get Dexter. It's frozen to die out, so at least 1 weapon saved here from Maus.
Yes.
They immediately call the attack timeout. How can they afford to hold on?
Yeah, nothing left. They'll be able to buy here on this round. This is defending against match point. Man. They have one really kind of solid round overall here on the CT side, but this is not as good as so many of their recent games. They played Inferno a ton in the last few matchups, whether it was versus Outsiders or otherwise. This definitely has more to do with the situation, and Outsiders leveling up their game in order to be able to finally beat Maus on this map is what we're seeing here. And what a time to do it when it matters the most.
Oh my god, the turnaround in this T side. We have 2 CT round wins for Maus. That is all. Oh! And just like that, he knows!
It's the Shiro. It's the Shiro T off shot, dude. It's no way.
The Time Wizard always knows where to be and when to be. A drop kick into Maus's hearts that's going to force Dexter to try to press this forward. He at least brings it back. Norbert goes down again, but that's what they've come to expect. It doesn't matter. James just caught Dexter.
Oh my god, another wallbang headshot.
On the fallback through apartments? Where's that death at?
And Torji, he has no op, but he's still going to stay here, and he dies too.
Fame not going to stop. It's low HP on James.
Oh my
it's
god.
Fame sitting on 10. This was the 3rd victim. Dexter's brain and Mouse's hopes splattered in apartments, shattered down Banana. A nasty collateral. It's what got Cloud9 into playoffs, and it's what's going to put Outsiders on match point.
And that's with the 2 extra kills on this previous round. Mouse are going to spend every dollar they can, but we didn't even have an off from Torzy last round.
Oh, it's identical!
It's literally...
It's identical!
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean...
Dude.
That the Shiro op shot yesterday, the T-side comeback versus Heroic to make it into the top 8, met by James.
It's identical.
His brother in the CIS with the same flick. I called that one of the craziest shots I've ever seen.
You said I've never seen something like this.
Never seen something like that. And it happens back-to-back days in the same circumstances. It's uncanny. It's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
And it might be just as impactful. Man.
Back-to-back days.
Crazy. What do we have, man? 3 Falmuses, 2 M4s, some bits of utility, but a frog in the throat and the thought that this is not us playing right now on Inferno. This is not us in the history of us playing against Outsiders. This does not feel like our day. And we know on our best we could make this an overtime game and make this comeback happen.
For sure.
It feels like something special is in the air here for Outsiders, looking to qualify to the big boy stadium in top 8. Damn, what could be the biggest major of all time.
To do it with 2 new players as well. Norbert and Fame from their first challengers with Outsiders to their first legends to their first playoffs. What a run this would be. And I love that just little added ingredient of, yes, revenge versus Mouse. I don't think it's the most important thing in their minds, but it's a head-to-head that they've become accustomed to.
Trying to silent drop and they both fail, and that's actually information here from Mouse, but they're going to be locked into lane. Now they're set up in a position to retake into mid if they think that the team's leaving. 1 player here in Exertion in a rotator position, starting to move into the site. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Highest rated player from the Challenger stage for Mouse. Very quiet game on Inferno. And desperately calling for reinforcements because the onslaught comes through. That's a ton of damage. That's a hold Exertion can be proud of. But is it enough to put away Outsiders in this one? The bomb plant's theirs for the taking and the retake utility. Imagine if they had a better buy, a frag, an incendiary. It would force both Norbert and Kickert into their graves. Instead, it's going to be James behind quad with a teammate right next to him. If he can strike lightning into this CT cross, then there may not even be the chance. Flit also can offer up help, but Kickert goes down first. James not going to miss that one. And now these CTs, the desperation starts to come in, and Outsiders a single kill away. Frozen tries to take it from them, but time is on Outsiders' side, as it always is. Playoffs for the Outsiders. They've done it in 2-0 fashion over Mouse. We have not had them in the playoffs since Stockholm, an early departure in Antwerp, a loss of a world-class entry fragger replaced by Fame. And he stands up, delivers here in the Legend stage, and it is their birth. Norbert and Fame, newcomers to playoffs. James is back, and so are all of Outsiders.
The bees. this one. That's going to be followed by Nuke and Dust 2 if we so need it in this deciding series. Elimination is on the line, so let's get into it.
With so much at stake, no matter how you slice this one, it's going to feel devastating for whoever cops the L here. Vitality taking on ENCE and Vertigo, where all things start. Map pick of Vitality, they've got that T-side opener, and already Apex coming through with the util. On the other side of things, ENCE, we're going to see Madden with the dual Berettas. I'm super excited for this one. We've got Spinks versus this ENCE squad. Same team he made it to the semi-final last major with. So it's going to be hot.
Yeah, Apex had fighting talk in that interview as well. Very confident in Vitality's map pool. Good numbers on Dust, good numbers on Vertigo. Mirage, of course, avoided by ENCE. And we're into the fray, into the mid-fight. 3 stacks strong here for ENCE. We got double dualies, Harry. We got the quadies, and we've already got them hitting heads, shredding Vitality in middle. Great start to the game for ENCE. And a lovely read to find all those 4 kills. As ZywOo, mentioned by the desk, mentioned by Yanka, coming into this one, having a bit of a tough tournament so far in comparison to the high highs we expect of him. He's got to pull out something impossible. Up through mid, and Madden is already tucked in, ready to receive. And he will. Nice pistol for ENCE, 5 alive. That's a confidence boost. This would be a kind of a shocker if ENCE stole this series away, Harry. I don't know how you're facing it, but you know, Vitality, even last major, they made it to that 2-2 game, right? They made it just a match off of the champion stage, falling to Heroic there. They make the upgrades. They bring in Spink since. He's looked sick. That definitely felt like the right change and all the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where I definitely think, yeah, it's going to be one that's judged far more harshly towards Vitality if they do come up short, right? Just because even when you think about, you know, the like ex-teammate situation of Spinks in this one, he was kind of head and shoulders like the best guy within ENCE. He was a force to be reckoned with, right? And so you've taken him out of that roster, put him in your own Vitality. On that basis alone, I'm looking at them and saying, well, there's a reason for that switch. There's a reason he would have joined this squad. And it's because they're meant to perform better.
Yeah, and you know, what a time for Vitality to come alive, especially in ZywOo has said this could be a good game for him to beat up on his opponents. You know, ENCE have had trouble so far here in Rio, right? Like, just look at their wins. Only one BO1 win in the pocket over BNE. It was Snappy at the helm of that one on the flip side. Not exactly the piece that you need to be the firepower player for this roster, and actually he's been the only one, I feel like, keeping them afloat. We saw it in the Fnatic game yesterday. He won those 2 1v1 clutches. Otherwise, it was a lifeless map of Nuke, which is ENCE's pick, another worry, you know, coming into this series as a second map. But yeah, even in that game versus BNE, you know, 120 ADR, 8-1 in opening duels. Snappy was playing lights out Counter-Strike, so we need his merry men to step up around him if ENCE were ever going to upset and take down Vitality.
Well, they've already got the pistol in their pocket. And now they're looking for the conversions, with it just being a flat eco here for Vitality. They're prioritizing bringing the guns out right away. And so ENCE, this one should come pretty much for free.
Yeah, Vitality made some footsteps towards A. And they're just hanging on. Ooh, Glock. A little scary. 1 kill comes through for Vitality, and they are being patient on this, trying to milk as much as they can from a seemingly impossible round. But the one SMG out of the picture, and you won't find ENCE pushing any more with these rifles. It's all about the spacing here on this T side for Vitality, making sure they can try and trade. No guarantees with Glocks.
Yeah, I feel like we're just enticed because they have this 1 kill. It shouldn't get any weirder than that. Should just get cleaned up now in the long-range fights, and that's exactly what's going to happen, right? Really nice there for Snappy and Sunpires. Don't let that get out of control. The conversion found. So now we have Vitality with the guns, right? They're going to be bringing those out straight away. We will be lacking that AWP.